Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Green microphone. Thank you for coming this morning. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Microphone check 1, 2 in Crouch Theater. Thank you for coming to Crouch. Hold on. Some of our auxins are down here. Well, check 1, 2. That was down. Was that green? Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. No. Can I slide right behind you here? Sorry. It's tight over here. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Audio. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's check 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have audio there. Audio in. Check 1. Check 1, 2. You need a meter. I see your vision.
No, I'm not. Adi.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Good morning. We're going to get the program started shortly, so if you could take your seats, that would be great. Thank you so much.
We're going to have to slide this a little bit because everything's on the projector screen.
Oh, for sure. Do you need my help?
Just give me 1 second. I should be.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
We might have to move. I'm not sure what to call this piece down here in front of the podium. Yeah, you have this guy down here.
Is this better?
I think so. I'm going to get it. She's the tape. But she's sorry. She's so everybody's bombarding her.
But you're good.
Testing.
Hi, guys. We're going to get the program started shortly again, so if you haven't already, please take your seats. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Yeah. Yeah, I think we can start. Hello. Hello, hello. Good morning.
If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Youth and AI Innovation Summit. My name is Adi, and I'm so excited to be one of your co-hosts for this morning. If you look around you, you'll see that today we're joined by young builders, families, educators, and leaders who are all collectively shaping the future through creation. And for this event today, it's my pleasure to introduce you to our host. As the founder and CEO of Blue Robins, a serial entrepreneur and a former scientist, she is on a mission to build the next generation of builders. As a true friend, mentor, and cheerleader for those around her, she is passionate about empowering young minds to create, innovate, and lead with technology, and will be guiding us through an inspiring day ahead. So please join me in giving a huge warm welcome to our host, Raji Kannan.
Thank you, Adi. Welcome to the Youth and AI Innovation Summit. We are so excited to have all of you here with us today. Even the cloudy Sunday couldn't stop any of you from showing up. The youth of today are not waiting to inherit the future. They are actively building it with their own hands and minds. In the age of AI, it is critical that we showcase young minds who are not just consuming technology, but are actively building the future with it. Since COVID, I've had the privilege of coaching over 200 middle and high school students, and what I have seen is this. When given the right tools and trust, they don't just learn, they create, they solve, they lead, often in ways that surprise us. Let me share a few stories. One high school student I worked with was frustrated by the rise of fake videos, deep fakes that distort truth. There was a time when they said, seeing is believing. Now even photos and videos you cannot trust much. But instead of just talking about this as a problem, he built a prototype in less than a week to detect them. And here at YAiS, students are going even further, exploring breakthroughs like DNA data storage. Just 1 gram of DNA can store 215 petabytes of data, far more sustainable way than traditional data centers. 1 gram of DNA is enough to store entire YouTube library in something smaller than a drop of water. Today, you will hear from students who have built AI models to detect brain tumors, hardware to prevent wildfires, and machine learning systems to navigate complex and unpredictable markets. Today, you will hear that how they are building this future, and it is happening right now. The youngest innovator presenting today is just 7 years old. This is why YAiS exists, to enable and celebrate a generation moving from consumption to creation. We have an exciting day with over 40 live demos and posters, hands-on workshops, and inspiring conversations. Let's give a big round of applause to our young innovators and families who support them as they actively create a future we can be proud of. Let's hear from 2 amazing voices joining us today through special messages for our youth.
They're going to hate me for saying this, but the most dangerous thing you could do right now, stop trying to get the right answer. I'm an artist who works with AI, and every time I use it to get the right answer, the work is dead, forgettable. But when I use it to ask a question that nobody has asked before, that's when something alive happens. So here's my challenge. Use AI to confuse yourself, argue with it, disagree with it. That's not broken learning. That's the real thing.
Let's hear also Lakshmi Praturi, who is our also event co-host, speak a few words on youth and AI.
One of my favorite quotes is that we do not live on a land that we get from our ancestors, but on a land that we are borrowing from our children. Through the industrial, internet, and the social media era, we've not done a great job of creating a safe and inclusive future for our youth. At AI Kiran, we believe that in the post-AI era, there is an amazing opportunity to co-create a more inclusive future with women, youth, differently abled, and every underrepresented community being part of it. We are really thrilled to be partnering with Blue Robins to bring together an amazing group of youth who are going to be walking alongside us to define this future. And the best part of it is our youth are going to be our teachers. So Inc. Global Foundation, AI Kiran, and Blue Robins are thrilled to come together with many partners, parents, and youth to create a movement where youth are at the center of it. And with their help, we are going to create a great inclusive future. Join us.
So give a big round of applause to Raghava and Lakshmi. And today I want to highlight why we chose UC Berkeley as our venue. UC Berkeley is home to over 100 Nobel laureates, a legacy of discoveries spanning multiple elements in the periodic table, and a long-standing tradition for free speech and open dialogue. Blue Robins, the company I founded last year, was started right here in Berkeley. We are proud to be part of Berkeley Skydeck, the startup accelerator here at UC Berkeley. At this point, I would like to invite Caroline Winnett from Berkeley Skydeck to the stage. Caroline is the executive director of Berkeley Skydeck. She is a serial entrepreneur, investor, and advisor, and has played a key role in building Skydeck into the #1 university innovation accelerator in the world. Next slide, next slide. She is also the Cal alumni from UC Berkeley Haas School of Business and has been deeply involved in advancing entrepreneurship and the startup innovation ecosystem at Cal. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Raji. And good morning, everybody. Thank you for showing up here at 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Don't you love doing that? Okay, I got to laugh. Good. All right, so I like to walk around, but now it's like the screen's on my face, right? So I have to standing here. And did they have to look at my face this whole time? Okay, I'll try to say something interesting. Let's talk about innovation, shall we? So, with that, of course, my very first question is, actually, before my first question, I am so fascinated with this crowd. Middle schoolers. How many middle schoolers do we have here? Fantastic. High schoolers. How many high schoolers? Elementary. Yeah, I met the 7-year-old, this young gentleman here. Oh, this is amazing. I went upstairs and saw the posters, and the titles of those posters are what you'd see on campus at a postdoctoral gathering. Absolutely, absolutely incredible. Wow. Had a nice chat with a budding neuroscientist about music in the brain. So that was, I didn't know what to expect today, but it's already exceeded my expectations, and I'm incredibly happy to talk to you. So yes, innovation. What's my first question? My first question is, what's your favorite pizza? Shout it out. Pepperoni, pineapple. Anybody pineapple here? Any pineapple? Okay, we got you. We got you. Cheese pizza, just veg, non-veg. I'm a veg. I mean, I'm not a veg all the time, but pizza veg. So why am I asking this question? Imagine you're at a party. There's 10 friends, 1 pizza, 8 slices. How do you divide it up? Who doesn't get pizza? Now, I all know you can do math, and you can figure out how many slices to cut it into so it's equal, right? The point is there's only so much pizza. It's a limited amount. And if you get some, you don't get some, right? This is what economists call, anybody know what this is? Yes, zero-sum event. If I take some from one side of the equation to go to the other, somebody loses. Most of the world in modern human history has operated on zero-sum. And we've seen the outcome of that, right? We've seen how that has gone. Kind of okay, kind of not okay, right? Past generations have not gotten much traction. There's a little bit of non-zero sum that's happening for sure. But my generation, boomer, hasn't gotten it right. I think yours might. I think your generation is the generation to do that. So yes, I am a boomer. I am one of the last years of the boomers, the generation that your teachers like to say caused all the problems. And we deserve a lot of that. What do boomers do? Well, we take oil and coal out of the ground. We burn it. Do we worry about the smoke? Yes, because we have to because of the EPA, right? Do we worry about the workers? Yeah, maybe. Did we worry about the planet? No, we did not. And lots of people got rich on all of this resource extraction and labor use, sometimes exploitation, but labor use. If you were the right gender, you had the right last name, the right skin color, right? That was pretty much how it operated. So here we are today. We've seen how that has worked out, right? And interestingly, did you know, despite all this, we did get some things right. Humans did do some things right. The last years of the 19th century, the 1900s, and the early years of the 2000s were the most prosperous time in all of modern human history. The least amount of famine, the least amount of wars and conflicts, The most number of people around the world having equal and civil rights, right? The most prosperous. In fact, there came a time recently when more people died of too much food than not enough. So we didn't do things perfect, but incredibly prosperous by comparison to previous generations, right? And so about 20 years ago, we globally kind of looked at all of this and went, nah, let's have more conflict. Let's have more wars, right? Let's have more arguments. We have a war in the Middle East, or whatever it is going on in the Middle East, right? We have now people wanting to go backwards, and not just in the United States, around the world. And I'm sure you guys all know this. This is not news to you, right? So all this is happening. So the world is now kind of super crazy. It all seems a little bit crazy. But right now, we just sent some humans around the moon, right? And 2 of those humans, one was a woman and one was a person of color. Unthinkable when I was your age. Unthinkable. And now in my lifetime, that's happened. I'm incredibly proud of that. We should be proud of that. At the same time, that pizza, that non-zero-sum pizza, is kind of burning, right? Your generation can't afford to kick that can down the road like mine did, right? We weren't thinking about climate change. We were thinking about all sorts of other stuff and some very good things. You have to think about it, right? This young man who's 7 years old, he's thinking about it. Yeah, you. Azai is thinking about it. And this young woman, and all of you, you're all thinking about it. It's part of your daily thought, right? That's why I think things might actually change when you're in charge, or even when you're just becoming to be in charge. So there are people doing non-zero-sum thinking now, right? You've heard a number of them, especially very young people, right? You've heard of course, Malala Yousafzai, youngest winner of the Nobel Prize, advocated for women and girls' education after getting shot in the head, right? She didn't take education away from boys. She gave it to women too. That's non-zero-sum. Have you heard of Boyan Slat, the ocean cleanup? Has anybody heard of this young man? So Boyan is, I think, Norwegian, and when he was 16, he was scuba diving in Greece, and he saw all this plastic in the water, and he went, no bueno. So when he was 18, he dropped out of college, not recommending this, don't worry parents, I'm not. I recommend you go to college, but it happens. He dropped out of college, he founded the Ocean Cleanup, and he sketched on a napkin, I think when he was in Greece, a giant boat with a huge net, and he has since expanded this project. He sailed around the world with these boats and collected something like 50 million cubic something yards. A ton of plastic has been cleaned up. And, you know, when you start something like that, how do you keep it going, right? There's a lot of excitement at the beginning, and people come and join, right, and give you money. He's kept it going, starting at 18, right? And I bet you've heard of Gitanjali Rao, right? First Kid of the Year. At what age was she Kid of the Year? Very young, right? Another entrepreneur, Mosiah Bridges, Mose Bose. When he was 9, he went to a store and he wanted to buy a bow tie, and he went, I don't like any of these bow ties. So he started a company, he got on Shark Tank, he got investment, and he's doing very well, and he knows it's important to be non-zero-sum. He's donating some of his profits to socioeconomically lower income children in his original neighborhood so that they can go to summer camp and learn. Non-zero sum. There's a lot of them, right? All right, I have a cheat sheet. Where's my cheat sheet? I have a next topic. I usually never do this, but this is a totally, I've never spoken on this before to young people. I'm usually speaking to older people, so this is great. All right, so as you know, I run Skydeck, UC Berkeley's startup accelerator. We do have several. I proudly wear my Cal colors, and someone keep me on time, like tell me to stop talking when I go on too long, because this is fun. And so what do? We accelerate startups, not just from Berkeley, but from around the world. They come to Skydeck. We host about 120 startups a year. So we're quite busy, including Blue Robins, which we are delightful to have in our program, and as an alum. And we often take startups, the founders have great credentials. They went to Berkeley, they went to MIT, they won some prize, et cetera, et cetera. They're credentialed, right? You know that word, right? But sometimes we don't, and we try very hard to look for those who are not credentialed. None of you are very credentialed simply because of your age, right? But you're innovating. People should listen to you. You have the ideas that we need to get past this burning non-zero-sum pizza. So we do sometimes do that. One of the founders in our program, a young man who came to us from the UK, Connell McLaughlin, dropped out of college, again, not recommending, don't worry parents, to start a company called Route Reports, and he came up with a better way to plan logistics for buses in London. Now, why is that a good thing to do? You've already figured it out. Less energy, right? Less labor issues, more efficient. Same number of people working there, not firing people, but happier workers, less fuel, all that good stuff. And he's doing very well, right? Came to us at 19, he hadn't gone to a great university. It is my generation's job to make sure that we don't look for a nice long resume of credentials in the people that we want to support, like you, who are 7 or 10 or 12 or 17, right? We need to be able to see your talent without having to have been proved by someone else how smart and talented you are. That's our job. That's what we're trying to do, okay? So at Skydeck, and one of the reasons I'm so proud to work at Berkeley, and Raji mentioned it a bit, do you know what the 3 things Berkeley does are? There's just 3 things. Very simple. One is, of course, teaching, right? We teach. Second one is research. We do great research, and I bet all of you kids in this room are tapping into that. What's the third? Does anybody know what the third basic thing we do is at Berkeley? Anybody know? Yes? Innovating? I love that. We do that. And what that innovation does, it leads to this third official thing that we do, public service. Public service. We're one of the few universities in the world. In fact, I will postulate we are the only university in the world that has our level of excellence, Nobel Prizes, research, all the amazing things that we do, and has as a basic operating principle, public service. Harvard does not have that. Great school, wonderful school. Stanford doesn't have that. Great school, wonderful school. Berkeley has that. That is why I am so proud to be here at Berkeley. Thank you. So what do we do at Skydeck that's non-zero sum? We're helping startups. And some of them are trying to cure cancer and do stuff, and some of them are just trying to go make a giant company doing AI software, right? How are we 100% zero sum? I'll tell you how. When I joined Skydeck 11 years ago, I said, let's do an accelerator. An accelerator means you make the companies go faster. That's all that means. You can't go very fast if you don't have any money as a company. So I said, we need a fund. And Berkeley said, I was new to Berkeley at the time, we can't do that. We're a public university. We can't do venture capital. You all know what venture capital is, right? No. Venture capital is an investment fund that invests in startups. That's what they do, right? Thank you for asking me that. That's important to know. 2 minutes. Okay, so to get around this constraint, I found someone to launch a dedicated venture fund. That's the Berkeley Skydeck Fund. And that fund invests in the companies in our program and shares half the fund profits with campus. Not as a, please do that, fund manager, but as a nice legal agreement signed by lawyers. So every company in our program is contributing to Berkeley's mission of teaching, research, and public service. Venture capital, private venture capital, public university got together. That's non-zero sum thinking. It's not a new technology. It's not a scientific discovery. You can do non-zero sum in many ways, right? So to wrap up, I got a minute. We're in Berkeley. A few blocks from here, there was the epicenter of the free speech movement. The absolute core of the energy that said, in a very Berkeley way, question the status quo. We don't like the status quo. It was 60 years ago, and I was a small child at that point, but I could tell, even as a small child, something's different. The way we're thinking is different. Old ways of thinking are being kicked out. And we did kick out us young boomers, well, the older boomers, not me, at that time. They went to a lot of, Woodstock, good stuff too, and smoked a lot of you-know-what. But they also really changed mindsets. I feel like that's about to happen again right now. And the people who are going to do that, all of you. So go forth and innovate, no zero sum, think how to make the world a better place with everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Caroline, and it was amazing, the zero-sum game. When I came to UC Berkeley Skydeck, and the first day of PAD 13 program, they said, all the profits that come, they donated to UC Berkeley, and their mission is to see every student get free education at UC Berkeley. Big hands to her for that. It's her vision. Our next speaker is truly special. Someone I deeply admire and see as an inspiring mentor. Please welcome Neeru Khosla. Neeru is the co-founder and chair of CK12 Foundation, an organization that has reached over 400 million learners across 97 countries. How many of you knew that? Raise your hands. Today you know. What makes her journey even more powerful is not just the vast scale of CK12, but the fact that she is a lifelong learner and builder, someone who has continuously evolved and reimagines education, how it can be made accessible, flexible, and impactful for every student. Through her work, she has inspired millions of young people around the world, from United States, Nepal, India to Bhutan, and continues to shape the future of learning itself. Outside of her professional life, she brings the same adventurous spirit into everything she does, from skydiving to whitewater rafting. She is also a fierce competitor, known since her middle and high school years as one to be very tough to beat in both chess and table tennis, always combining curiosity, courage, and playfulness in everything that she takes on. Please join my welcome Neeru Khosla on stage.
That's okay, you can leave her here. What's that? I had 4 of them. But now they're all taller than I am. So I'm probably still am the shortest one, but that doesn't matter. That's why technical issues, I can't stand behind a podium. So I have to stand in front of a podium. Well, you know what, this was, I think this was a little too much of an intro. But let me talk to you about the topic of the day. How many people here have heard of AI? That's it, not every hand went up. So that's a good thing, because then I can talk about what I have to talk about, right? And since I'm interested in education, I have to figure out what I can tell you. What happens now that we have this thing called AI, right? How are we going to learn. I think Caroline touched on that. How do we get more children like you who are reaching for the sky? So let me talk about this a little bit. Okay, sorry.
Combustion, and it needs oxygen. But the sun's energy comes from a totally different process.
Sorry. It went too fast. So what if you had some question in your mind like this one, and this comes from a young kid who posted it on our site and said, how does the sun burn if there's no oxygen in space? How many kids know that? Not parents. Good, I saw that too. That's awesome. And another one, okay? Great. So think about it. So you had to learn this, and you didn't know what. Now imagine if
The fire you see here on Earth is called combustion, and it needs oxygen. But the sun's energy comes from a totally different process called nuclear fusion. That's why it can keep glowing even when there's no oxygen in space.
The sun's energy comes from a totally different process called nuclear fusion.
Nuclear fusion happens deep inside the sun, where it's super hot and under a lot of pressure. In fusion, hydrogen atoms smash together to form helium, and this releases a huge amount of energy as light and heat.
So, the sun shines because of nuclear fusion, not because it's burning with oxygen. That's why it can keep glowing, even though there's no oxygen in space.
what if I had that to learn from, rather than reading the textbook? Imagine, this was created to answer this question by the team. And I think a lot of you can do this because of your work with AI. So keep this video in mind, because I'm going to ask someone something. This is hard to. So imagine 11 o'clock at night, you're struggling with that question, and you didn't have that video, access to that video, right? So what do? You could, you could read a book, try. I wonder how much time it would take and frustrate, because you wouldn't know it. Oh, yeah, there's a table of content, but, will it actually give you that answer? Can you phone a friend? Night? Maybe the friend doesn't know. Maybe you can go to Google, right? And search for that. And you might get about 3,000. This is a so low number, 3,120 different answers to this. So I don't think this is going to help with your frustration at 11, whatever time at the night. You got to get this done for tomorrow. You have a test, you have a homework, you have, some deadline. So, sorry, guys, this is not working.
I'm so frustrated. I just don't understand this problem. My test is tomorrow. No worries, I got you.
So imagine you had a helper who didn't just give you the answer, but actually talked to you and helped you think through it, right? Imagine that. So, welcome to the world of wonder era. Instant personalized help. That's what we've been working on. Can't help it, Flexi is the guy that's going to help all of us learn. So that really got us into thinking about how could we help every child. And there are, before machines came along, we had the calculators, because we couldn't calculate the big numbers in our brain, just couldn't handle them. Paper and pencil would take a long time So luckily, human beings are good at creating tools. And they started creating these machines that you could program, do some algorithms, and help you learn. So we said, what could we do with machines? And we started thinking about that. The one thing that they did to get the machines from just being an input machine was a paper that came out of Google in 2017, which says, attention is all you need. And that's how the machines started thinking about what's the next task that it has to do. I think it was 2022, OpenAI came up with a new way to make that more useful by making it the next word. What is the next word? It could predict. And all of a sudden, you could talk to machine in human language. So when you think about that, that was huge. Last 3 years, how many of you have been reading about OpenAI, LLMs, and Google? I presume a lot of the parents have. Nice, nice. Well, it's something you should familiar yourself with because this is going to be very useful as you go along. So, but then we thought, but wait, is knowing the next word, was that enough? Was that going to help us answer questions like, why does the sun burn? And others. So what do we need then? And we realized instead of attention, we needed intention is what we need. And by that, all of us have to know what we're looking for before we just go and use these LLMs, these machines, whatever. We need to have attention and the ability to judge whether it's giving us the right answer or not, right? Sorry. So there are certain things that are not non-negotiables in learning. We've got to keep that in mind. These non-negotiables are things, don't change. It doesn't matter what happens over time, what machines have changed, what teaching has changed. It was print media, it was before chalk and slate, print, and then online. The one thing that never changed, that you have to internalize that meeting. You have to understand. You have to be able to, reproduce that, to not to get the right answer, but to make something like you guys have done. So it really I'm really proud that I'm talking in front of you because all of you kids are going the right way. You're producing, you're not just learning. So these are some of the non-negotiables. So when I started CK12, I used to be a molecular biologist. Do you know, when I first walked into a lab, I used an electron microscope and I saw what a cell was made out of. I actually saw it with my own eyes, the organelles, the nucleus. It was so exciting. So tools are very important for us to learn with. So I said, I got interested in, because I couldn't work anymore with radioactivity, so I had to go have kids. And I had 4 kids, and I said, what's the most important thing I can do with my kids? Anyone know? Say it loud. Education. Teach them, right? That's what education is supposed to be, to teach them. And that's when I said, I went back to school at the age of 50 to Stanford to see what was the issue that was happening with the education system so I could really help. I said, every child deserves an education that's meaningful for them, that they can do something with it. That's when I started CK12. And my team right there, without whom I couldn't have done this. Ravi's been with me for 18 years. And actually, Felix, stand up. He joined me at the age as an intern. What was the age, Felix? How much? 23. Well, he just come out, and he's a full-fledged AI person now. He's learned all these years, the 15. And Jen is the newest member, but she is also become very knowledgeable about AI. So CK12, people ask me, what does the C stand for, right? Children, of course, right? It's creativity. These are some of the non-negotiables. To be able to communicate, to think critically, why am I doing this? You do need something to start learning with. These are very important. Do not forget these. In whatever you do, keep your thinking hats on. Keep your collaborative hats on. I couldn't have done it without the team, right? So what we created, we realized couldn't just be one thing. That was against the grain of what everyone else was doing. We said we were going to create a holistic system, an AI student tutor. I'm sorry. So you need curriculum to start with, there's no question. Curriculum can be something to start thinking, start learning with. We needed to make sure we understood and kept in mind all the learning sciences, all the developmental sciences that we know about learning. We needed to know what progress means in learning. We had to personalize it for every child. And I'm so proud to say, even the content we created ourselves, we created the personalization, so everything that went through our system took care of you, and you, and you. So, but you have to use it to be able to get there. Oh boy. And finally, when artificial intelligence came along, one of the first things we could do was actually kind of know what was the knowledge state of your mind. What did you know? What did you not know? The moment you ask that question, hey, why does the sun burn when there's no oxygen? We knew that this child didn't know the difference between combustion and nuclear fusion. We could then go and help this child for his personal generaries. That's not the only thing that you could create with this. You could create almost everything. So this I don't like calling it tutor. I do like calling it student helper, so that this helper can help you any time of the day. It's free. We've been around for 18, 19 years, and we do not charge. So go ahead and play with it and learn. And if you see something's wrong, tell us, okay? Because collaboration is what gets us there. So one of the things that we also decided right from the beginning is, what should this tutor not do? It should not replace learning. It should not be just shortcuts. It should not be just an answering machine. It should not replace teachers or parents or your mentors, because you need them. My kids still need me. You know, last night, my son says to me, he's 33, "Hey, Mom, I need to sleep over because my dogs are fighting." Okay, well, come on over. So I don't think we need to replace teachers, parents, and adults because they bring wisdom. They bring things to you that can help you judge. Did the answer I get, was it right? I have a question for you. How many of you remember that video? The one about the sun burning. Did you see anything wrong with that? Go ahead. What's that? Can you speak up? Okay, that's just scaling thing. You know, we were moving in and out of the scale too much. Anyone else? Jen, what was wrong with that video? No, can't hear you. No, but that's fine. Not that much though, right? To keep the sun burning, right? Here's the thing. The voice changed. Did you note that? Yeah, well, yeah, it's supposed to be the same, but the voice changed. But that's something, the technology, we couldn't correct. But I wanted to see if you could note that. These are the things that you have to notice. So, one of the things that we did very early on, we said, what else can we really help students with? And we thought about, you know, what do they have to learn, right? So it's not just kind of, it wasn't just kind of creating this content, the pathways and learning, etc. It was more than that. We said, what if we could create a way for students to know as they're going through the system from 6 to 12, what concepts are, what courses they have to take, you know, what are the higher ed courses they can think about, what are the, you know, things that they might want to do. So if they could think about what do they want to do, so we ask, what do you want to do when you grow up, or higher ed careers? And at that point, we started creating these, if asking them what do they want to do. I'm sorry, this thing is driving me crazy. It's not. I'm so sorry. Just let us know. We'll change the slide for you. Okay, because it's not, and it's unnerving me. Sorry. So, yeah, just go through this one quick. Yeah. That's okay. So then we said, if you wanted to be a computer scientist, what do you have to be doing? Okay? We connected all these different things. And it doesn't even have to be computer science. Think about if you wanted to become a stage designer. Now, this is artificial intelligence coming from computer sciences. Just, that's good, right? You still have to know a lot of different domains. And somebody said, but no, I don't want to do math and science because I want to be a stage designer. We said, think about this. What about lighting? Lighting, don't you have to know about the science of lighting? Don't you have to know about, you know, area? Don't you have to know about shapes? Don't you have to know about what are you going to put where? And that kind of thinking really is what we decided kids need to understand and learn. You need to learn very differently than Caroline and I did. You need to learn widely. You need to learn so that, you know, you can quick learn how to learn so that you can learn quickly. What are the things that you must know, you know? So Next slide, please. So I am redefining AI as amplified intention. It amplifies for humans their intention to do, to learn, etc. So from copy pasting to creating, you need to own your learning. Because when you grow older, there's going to be nowhere around you can say, hey, that was your fault that I didn't learn. Take learning as your own responsibility, and your parents and your mentors will help you. And we are here to help you, right? So learn deeply, learn different things, adapt quickly, because these things are changing so fast. Last 3 years, we have been just besides ourselves to keep going at the rate that things are changing, that we can offer you so that your learning becomes more meaningful. Create. So I'm happy to see all of you are here to learn. So next, multimodality. That was that video you saw on how sun burns. That's full of multimodality. I learned electricity reading text. I didn't know what protons, electrons were, couldn't see them. But today, with simulations on our website, you can see how electricity works, how physics works, chemistry works, biology works. And we help you to learn at your pace, on pace. We don't think anybody cannot learn. They cannot learn because there's a time thing and you got the answer wrong, you're stupid. That mentality has to change. We can help you in the moment, every moment, and tell you what you're getting, where you're getting stuck. So that is important, the last one, color outside the box. We were taught, don't color outside the box. Coloring outside brings two things, creativity and to know you were wrong in that paradigm, right? So if you can continue that, I think quickly, let's go to the next few slides quickly. We realized we needed a connected system, so we created curriculum. We created Flexi, teacher assistant, Flexi student helper, and then we put reinforcement learning on it, which means that it helps you trial and error. This is how machines learn, by trial and error. If you reinforce their right answer, they learn. It's the same thing. The only reason you need to know the right answer is that your thinking is right, your process is right, your concepts, connections are right. This is how much usage we have all over the world. We have, go ahead. 400 million users since 2015, 3 billion questions answered, 350 million assignments delivered. Go ahead. 40 million users in the last 2.5 years, students have used Flexi. They've asked questions. 175 million in the last 2 school years of student Flexi interaction. 364,000 Flex books customized. I'm sorry, I was a little unnerved by this, but any questions?
Yeah, do you approach the students individually, or do you go through school systems? Repeat the question. Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, do we go to the students independently, or we go to school systems? Both. Okay, so we have one version which is for the student. The student helper actually helps directly, or it can help through the teacher. So the school systems we go through, are exactly the standard aligned, the national standards aligned. We're just starting to work with India, where we'll take the India curriculum and then make it intelligent so that we can help every child in India. A lot others happening in Bhutan, a lot of pilots are going on. And so we are working to create teacher training programs with ASU and others. Yes? I'm so sorry, say that again. Oh, how Flexi changed over the years. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's a great question, right? Think about how technology changed over the years, right? So we had to create, starting with day one, we had to create the content into a digital content that computers can understand, right? People told me, oh, we have Wikipedia, you don't need that. I said, no, a 7-year-old may not understand Wikipedia because they'll only get one answer. So I said, what if we could start with our own content and build the technology? That's why what Ravi did a lot of, and Felix, over the years. They created the tools that were built for this particular vertical. No matter what technology came along, if it was useful for us, we used it. We created that particular version of it so that we could protect student privacy. We do not sell student data, but we just kept creating to a point where the AI today is slapped on. We can talk to these students and figure out what help they need. And we can figure out from their answers what help they need. This is a longer conversation. We can have that. Ravi can help you too, okay? No more questions. I'm here, you can talk to me. Yeah. Don't worry, I know Lakshmi, so I'll beat her up for saying no more questions.
Lots of questions later.
Thank you so much. My kids hate me because I leave things behind.
Thank you, Neeru. You not just left your card, you left us with a lot of wisdom as well. Thank you for sharing the non-negotiables when it comes. One second. I am very short, so I have a stool for me, sorry. Thank you, Neeru, for sharing the non-negotiables when it comes to learning and how youth can own their own learning with AI. Your journey is an inspiration to all. We have 3 high school EdTech entrepreneurs and 2 UC Berkeley EdTech entrepreneurs in this audience, and I hope you get to meet them, and they would love to hear from you too later. Our next session is Youth Innovation Panel, where young innovators take the stage to share what they are building, what they are learning, and how they are using AI to solve hard problems. I welcome our panel moderator, Dilip Patel, and kids to the stage. Dilip is a product and AI leader with over 15 years of experience building large-scale AI systems across Uber, Amazon, Meta, and Salesforce. He works on pricing, risk, search, and recommendation systems at a global scale. Today, he leads AI risk products at Uber, helping protect one of the world's largest mobility and delivery platforms from fraud while improving trust and safety for millions of users. He is also a Berkeley Skydeck advisor and an advisor to Blue Robins. He not only mentors me, but also mentors several of our students, including those who are present today. I welcome Dilip onto the stage.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Youth AI Innovation Summit. I think that was a very kind introduction, Raji, and you heard a lot about a lot of speakers and Skydeck. But I think the 3 speakers I'm inviting, they are doing the real heavy lifting. So let's welcome to the stage, Michael, Rohan, Sia. Please give a huge round of applause for them. You don't chair, it's okay. I'm okay. Okay, I'm okay. All right, so we'll start with the elevator pitch. Cue for all of you. Imagine you're stuck in an elevator, right? And you don't mind your colleagues to bother or worry about if your pitch is so good. So tell us about your North Star, what you are building, and what outcome you are chasing. Michael, you want to start with?
Could you say the question one more time?
Tell us about your project. Introduce yourself and tell us about your project. What outcome are you chasing?
Sure. Hello. Hi, my name is Michael Cruz. I'm a senior software engineer at Disney+. I've been working in tech for maybe 10 years now. I'm getting old. I used to be, like many of you, a child, a kid, and I didn't have the skills to build, and I didn't have that confidence. And truly, when I started my project, where I wanted to build a coding school to teach others how to fish and make their own project, I didn't know what I was doing. I was not confident at all. In fact, I didn't know if I could do it. And so what I believed in was confidence comes in from proof. Proof to yourself. So when you wake up at the middle of the night and you have those dark thoughts of like, oh, I suck, you need that proof to yourself that you honestly believe that you can achieve anything that you set your goals to. And so that's why I started my coding school.
Okay, Rohan, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name is Rohan Murthy. I'm an 11th grade student at Monte Vista. And for my projects, I wanted to do a community service project giving back to my community. And when I was thinking of what to do, I had, it was for my Eagle Scout project to achieve Eagle rank. And I had an advisor come and tell me that this is one opportunity where you kind of get to make an impact and make sure that it's something meaningful to you. So I took a lot of time trying to decide on what to do and ended up deciding to donate 50 custom designed Lego kits and a table to UCSF Children's Hospital. As a kid, personally, I was privileged enough to be able to really enjoy playing with a lot of Legos, putting together all the kits, taking them apart and putting them back together again. And personally, I'm also very interested in medicine, so I thought combining those 2 interests in this project was something that did mean a lot to me. And yeah.
Sia, you want to go next?
Hi, is it working?
Just take it out.
Hi, my name is Sia, and I'm a freshman in high school. I built my app plate chair to prevent food waste and a way to also help make sure people are getting fed. Every Sunday, I would volunteer at the farmer's market and collect the leftover vegetables and then give them away to shelters. And this helped me realize how much food was getting wasted in our community and how much shelters really needed food. So I built my app to help shelters get connected with restaurants who are wasting their extra food and who don't need the extra food so that the shelters can have it. And really the North Star of my project is the fact that 2 problems are getting solved in one app. People are getting more fed and food is not getting wasted.
Thank you. That's a great deal. So we'll move on to talk about breakthrough. You know, progress usually requires making some painful engineering choices, and I'm sure this kids dealt with some of the challenges as well. So, Michael, you want to talk about what challenges you might hit, and how did you achieve your breakthrough?
Sure. Hello. Yeah, this one works. I think it's very generous that you're saying I'm a kid, but I appreciate it. My breakthroughs, one time comes to mind. I used to work for PlayStation about 4 years ago, and it was the eve of Christmas. And then the store goes down, and I get that dreaded pager duty call where I have to wake up at Christmas Eve and figure out what's going on, or the company loses millions. So if you don't know, a lot of people buy video games right before Christmas. So having a bug like this is drastically bad. And it's my job to figure it out, or millions of people can't get their games in the morning. So I was very stressed out. In fact, I was panicking, thinking, oh God, they're gonna fire me, this is it, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I had to calm down, take a couple breaths, really think about what I needed to do. And then it just sort of came to me. I very much realized it really is proof to yourself. Your experience, your skills, those are there. You just need to tap into them.
Thank you for sharing that. Next, let's talk about the wall, right? And I think every builder knows that sharing a screen for hours till you figure out, what problem it caused and what you might have to do to solve it. Rohan, I'm looking at you. Building Legos, we all know you put one step on some Legos and something breaks. So tell us about some of the challenges you might have faced and how did you resolve them?
Yeah, throughout when I was designing the whole project, there were a lot of kind of redesigns that had to go through that as like you're going from a plan to actually building it in reality. One big one aside from that though was actually getting volunteers because it was a volunteer-based project, and although you can send out as many emails as you want, but sometimes you kind of just have to go in person. People just won't sign up on a spreadsheet unless you talk to them face-to-face about your project. I think there's something a lot more special about that. So I tried to get a lot of volunteers from my troop for my project, and honestly, not many people ended up signing up. So I had to turn to other places. I turned to my school, friends, my sister and her friends as well. Then in the project itself, for the table specifically, there was a lot of redesigns that had to go through that. The original idea was actually completely different than what actually I ended up making. It turned from 4 legs to 2 panels on the sides, from a sliding top to a drawer and just a normal top. I think you just have to be open to making changes and not stay rigid to your original idea.
That was great. As Raji mentioned, that in Blue Robins, or even at, we discussed about Skydeck, when we hit the wall, what really helps us is the beautiful community, advisors and coaches and resources. So I would love to learn, how these kids are using resources. So Sia, as you build up your app, what resources, tools, and mentors did you leverage to make progress?
I think some of the biggest resources that were the most helpful while building my app were probably the help from my mentor, probably planning everything out, and the use of AI and databases. These are some of the biggest resources I had while building my project, and I think this really helped when I had a lot of problems, because one of the biggest problems I had when I was making my app was that things weren't getting saved to my database, and I couldn't figure out what was going on because I had a whole app design with multiple screens design and nothing was working. I kept on trying to test the app out. I kept on trying to input my information. Nothing was working. But in the end, I think documenting the whole thing and finally getting help from my mentor, I ended up manually inputting the whole database into AI and having to manually connect the front end of the app to the back end of the app, and finally it ended up working. And I think those were one of the biggest resources in my project.
Thank you for sharing that. We have a lot of AI builders, I think 300 plus in the audience, and they all see you as an Avenger. So if they want to emulate you or build something similar to what you build, what each one of you recommend as the baby steps they can take to start where you started. Ron, you want to start?
Sorry, could you repeat the question one more time?
All the AI builders, right? If they want to start and build a product like you build, what suggestion you have for them?
I think that one thing that's really important when trying to make a project for yourself is just making sure that it's something that does have meaning to you. I think that helps a lot throughout the process because while you're going through it and running into problems at like almost every step, it takes a lot of perseverance, but I think that can come a lot easier when it's something that you personally really just want to do and that you're passionate about implementing.
Michael, do you have any one-step suggestion for kids?
Any one-step solutions?
One-step suggestions?
One-step suggestions? Just start today. You're gonna make mistakes. You're always gonna make mistakes. The important part is you have to learn from those mistakes. And the way you do that is you start immediately. Start understanding, start learning. Now is the time. It's not gonna cost you as much to make those mistakes, but what does cost you in the long run is when you don't do anything.
Sia, what do you want to share?
I think one suggestion I have is really just being passionate about doing it and just don't be afraid to make mistakes because I agree with what Michael and Rohan said because making mistakes is how you're actually gonna figure out how to move forward and what to not do to be able to move forward while building your app. And I think it's important to be passionate because if you just do it half-heartedly, you won't get anywhere and you won't really have the product that you want. So I think it's important to be passionate and just not be afraid to do it.
Wasn't it really inspiring? Big round of applause for these kids. Yeah. My takeaway is start today, start now. Don't afraid to make mistakes. Leverage resources, communities, and keep moving. Thank you, everyone. And if you have any question, feel free to reach out outside of this session as well.
I don't bite.
I'll hand over to Raju. That's it.
Thank you, Dilip. Sorry for the title mistake. Dilip is the head of product and AI at Uber, not CK12. Sorry, apologies for the editing mistake. He's also advisor at UC Berkeley Skydeck. So thank you, Dilip. Thank you for all the young panelists who are here with us sharing their stories of building. The next speaker happens to be me. Thank you. Let's see if the clicker works for me. Okay, hello everybody. So today I want to share why I started Blue Robins and the story behind my founder journey. So I start with an important question: what rewires a child's confidence? Much of my life as a parent, entrepreneur, and a scientist has been searching an answer to this question. I grew up in the southern part of India. My parents did not even finish high school. My mom, 3rd grade, my dad was 5th grade, but they were very ambitious. They wanted to make me and my brother engineers, and they achieved it. They're both farmers. So my career started at Nokia Research Center. I built the first computational imaging lab in India, in Bangalore. My life was going fantastic. I have never faced any kind of politics. I've always loved my job. I've done 3 startups and research, and every journey has been fantastic. My daughter was born at the same time while I was at Nokia Research Center. When she was 8 months old, one day I came back from office, and I figured something was wrong. And my instinct was right. In the next few weeks, she was diagnosed with autism. a neurodiverse condition, and my world came crashing down. Slowly, I had to learn how she learned. I had to unlearn what I already knew and start observing and learning things from her. We enrolled her in a dance class. The first dance class told me that your daughter is not listening to instructions, so we will not encourage her. She does not have to learn dance here. But the second dance class where we did was, what happened? But the second dance class where she learned, you saw all the mirrors there, and the mirrors made her learn fast. Because of the mirror neurons, she learned dance super fast. No instructions were given to her. So this was my first clue that she is a visual learner. She also loved drawing and dancing while at home, and I simply gave her the tools that she needed, a big mat and everything put on there, and she would just draw for hours together. I continued building my career at Nokia Research Center. I then went to MIT Media Lab. I started my first startup, Kiba Smart Camera. Kiba was named by my daughter after a Naruto series character. I sold Kiba and then went on to my next startup. It was a YAiS startup doing augmented reality glasses. I was heading product there. So these journeys were growing great, but I was all alone when I came and started Kiba right here in Bay Area. One of my first opportunities to come to US was through PCH Highway 1 hardware accelerator, a very similar accelerator like Skydeck but for hardware companies. The very first week they gave me a task to sell 200 cameras. I was a scientist. I have not sold anything before, did nothing like that, and I had to somehow figure out in the first week how the hell I'm going to sell 200 cameras. So I did what I could do best. I saw a couple of moms at the playground. I talked to them and said, hey, would you mind if I come to your house and showed the product? They said yes. So I asked a couple more, and in the next 2 days, I almost did like 400 homes. By the end of that journey of 2 days, visiting 400 homes in that apartments and nearby apartments, all my shame, all my doubts, everything went into the dustbin. And this is what great accelerators do to you. While I was here, I was missing my child and my husband. My child was still in Bangalore. I wrote to her 120 letters. I knew that I'm not going to meet her for a long time. I don't know if she read it. She doesn't remember it anything now. I don't know where those letters are. But I wrote them to her so that if she ever misses me, she's going to read them. But I think I missed her more. Much of her progress came through projects. We started dabbling with electronics. She got the great opportunity to do research at ASDRP. She did research in neuroscience, in autism. She was also a gardener at Fertile Groundworks. She worked as a gardener for 4 years, helped kids who could not afford food. So all of these experiences made her resilient. When she was in high school, she started her own venture called Joy Bowls. So Joy Balls was her own imaginary bowl. She would put rabbits having a tea party inside. She would put little dogs and color the stones. And then she would sell these Joy Bowls to senior care centers. Now, I was not the only one who went door to door to sell. She did the same. From all of these projects, I learned that she not only got skills, but also self-belief. During COVID, I left my corporate job or startup job and then took a break to teach kids. Initially, it was just to help my daughter, but soon 1 kid became 5 kids, 5 became 10, 10 became 150. When it reached 200 and it was 20 hours, 22 hours, my husband and I had a talk about it, and we decided, okay, I'll start a company, and that would be Blue Robins. Blue Robins is a global youth innovation platform that will help kids get both skills and confidence through projects. We want to move kids from consumption to creation. Today, my daughter is at UC Berkeley doing bioengineering and electrical and computer science minor and design certificate. I don't know how she manages 3, but she is doing amazing in this ecosystem here. How many of you have seen the car on the left side? Okay, many of the kids. It's Ambassador in India, right? Many of you kids, young kids, would never have seen this car, but this was the cars that I saw with my uncle and aunts back then. Now come to 2026, you can see how cars have advanced. Similarly, I worked for Nokia, and I was not around in 1998, but this was the first mobile that they ever launched, and 2026, this is how it looks. But the physical classrooms have not changed. It looked like this in 1998, and the classrooms you would go right after lunch would look like this right now in 2026, right? So the physical space has not changed much. But digitally, it has changed a lot. And even until I completed my college, I studied everything through books, right? I would go to the library, take up 2-3 books, and then study. My entire daughter's journey from LKG till she finished her, even now she has not finished graduation, she's a sophomore at UC Berkeley, she has never touched books. She learns digitally. So she was born in the digital era. What has changed in the digital era? If you see Khan Academy, CK12 Foundation came up with content-based learning, where you could ask questions without any fears. You didn't have to think twice to raise your hand. You didn't have to dwell in your doubts. You could just ask questions to like Flexi or AI and just get your answers, right, at your own pace. If you wanted to get an answer to a linear algebra problem in 10 steps instead of 2 steps, you could tell that so, right? So this puts youth at the center, you at the center, and you are shaping how AI will give the answers to you. So let's see how we have evolved in the last 6 months and hear from our own students.
Our project was about applying convolutional neural networks to classifying brain tumors.
Oftentimes we see that there are a lot of discrepancies and many mistakes which can lead to incorrect treatment, so this project was made to combat this.
And I've spent the past couple of months exploring how artificial intelligence can recognize American Sign Language using images. ASL is vital for the hard of hearing community, yet communication barriers still exist. My project examines whether AI can accurately identify ASL letters A through Z and numbers 0 through 9 from a single image.
A few weeks ago, I began working with my mentor, Rosh, to 3D model different dragons like sun, space, earth, and water. I have an inspiration example right here. My plan is for each dragon to teach something about how humans can help our environment.
And the biggest thing that I would tell them is that Blue Robins offers a very collaborative environment, right? Where there's no judgment, there's nothing. The biggest thing here is that we want to help foster your learning and help build you up as a person as much as we want to help you with a great project.
Over 200 kids in the last 5 years, and what I have learned is amazing. The kid who did an AI to detect deep fake videos, he asked me one day, Auntie, if I can do this in 1 week, why haven't big companies done it? Why have not they released a software or a plugin to stop deep fake videos, okay? I told him, I don't know the answer. Let me get you to the VP of that company. I'm not going to mention the company. So I put him in touch with the VP, head of VP, vice president of marketing, and asked this question. And the VP said, we don't want to do it because it earns revenue for us. And this made the kid extremely unhappy, and he said, "Auntie, you should not be friends with him anymore." Then we have the case of Tushar. He's going to present today. He built a medical system when his mother was ill in the hospital and realized that all medical bills have almost 80% errors. We have all seen how urgent care bills can be a bomb to people, right? And he's now in talks with 40 other companies and negotiation to get his company acquired. So these are great things that are happening today. A 12-year-old kid, Arhan Dua, who will be presenting his work here, is working on CRISPR-based DNA storage. And CRISPR gene editing was invented right here. Without mentors from Jennifer Doudna's lab and others, we could not have explored this kind of project. So we being in Berkeley is a blessing, and thanks again to Skydeck and the ecosystem for that. Thanks to all of you for being here. You are my inspiration, and you will always be my inspiration. Thank you. And if you ever want to contribute, please become a mentor. I realized I have to come again. Our next speaker is Lakshmi Praturi. I know Lakshmi for the past 15 years. Lakshmi, right? Yeah. She is the founder of Inc. Global Foundation and AI Kiran. I've known Lakshmi for 15 years. We met when I was at Nokia Research. She's amazing at spotting talents. Because of her, I went to MIT Media Lab. Because of her, I've got so many connections in my life. And because of her, today this event is happening. Without her, none of this would have been possible. Lakshmi got TED to India. She was the first to bring the TED-like experience to India. She has been running Inc. Talks for over 15 years now and has changed the life of so many people with Inc. Fellows and many other programs. I invite Lakshmi to the stage and give her a big round of applause.
I think that's a photo of me 30 years in the future. So I don't know, I'm like looking at where did they pull that photograph from? I don't even, it's not even me. Anyway, I just wanted to say that I have not done with Raji's talk yet. She talked about, you talked about your daughter, right? And what she did with her daughter. I think you need to see the results of experiments. So come here. So this is Prajanya. So I don't let them off very easily. So I wanted to ask you, Prajanya, you've been at the receiving end of this experiment. So what was it like?
So initially when I was first diagnosed with the spectrum disorder, I didn't really realize it because I was in my own world. And even in my first school, like we have, in elementary school, we have like those mandatory dance performances, and I was in my own world because I didn't really vibe with the choreography. And I was just looking into the lights. And there were little moments like that where I would just space out and I would be in my own world. And then one day, my parents realized there's something different with her. And they didn't see it as something that was a weakness. They saw that maybe we should try to see things from her point of view. So they got me into therapy. And there were various types of therapy I had. But the one that really stuck to me was, using visual cues. And a lot of the exercises included doing physical activity, doing a lot of puzzles, and having a lot of interactive modules. And I think now, especially with AI, I think that could be a lot more capable of including people with disabilities, because now there's a lot more that you can do. But that time it was just all hands-on. And this kind of got me to explore various passions, and later on, I just kept improving because I didn't give up on all the interactive stuff that I did. And later on, I took my life a little more seriously, and that's why I'm here.
So what are you doing now at Berkeley?
I'm a bioengineering major and an EECS minor. I'm also a design innovation certificate student. So my work mainly, initially I came in just wanting to help resolve any healthcare problems and
battle any neurological disorders. But I think as I explored my college life more, and I enjoyed, computer science, and I really liked designing. And I think I'm trying to bring all of those together. Maybe I could do some computational model analysis. And also I've been working on a lot of medical devices project, and that's also where my concentration is. I was part of a research group, and I was part of the exoskeleton team, and we made a EEG helmet. And since then, I've been a committee member of SWE. I've also been a part of RRID, which is a rapid reviews infectious diseases review journal, so I do a lot of writing as well. Aside from that, I'm also part of AFX and Cosmos dance teams, and it kind of was a lot of genres like K-pop, pop, jazz. Aside from that, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, actually, if you don't mind, just go to the holding slide. Just take my face off. This is like a terrible picture of me. Like part of being on the stage is you're in vain all the time. So I just want to say, I'm going to tell a story, and some of you have heard this story. If you know the answer, don't give the answer, because I'm going to ask what the answer is. So this is a story of a person who's driving a car on a rainy day like this, in a ghat road, like a terrible road, and there's a huge ditch. The car goes into the ditch. Nowhere in sight, anybody is there to help. Now this person is wondering what to do. He sees an old man coming up the road with an old donkey, okay? So he asks the old man, where can I go to get some help? He says, don't worry, we can help you. He's looking at him going, this puny little fellow and this puny little donkey, how are they going to help me, okay? So the old man said, don't worry, it happens all the time. We see this all the time. I have a rope at the back of my donkey, I'll help. So he puts the rope, ties it to the donkey, and he stands up on top of the ditch and says, come on, Johnny, come on, Sammy, come on, Will, and come on, Yolanda, you can do it, come. And like, the donkey pulls the car out. And this guy is like flabbergasted. How did this puny donkey get this out? Now, I want to ask you, why was this guy yelling all these different names? It's like one donkey. Why does the donkey have 4 different names? What's the trick to this? Okay. So the guy is puzzled like you. He asked this guy, why did you yell all these names? There's like one donkey, 4 different names. He says, the donkey is blind. It doesn't know anything. When I yell 4 names, it thinks there are 3 other donkeys pulling the car. And it pulls it out, not knowing its own strength. So a lot of times, our strength comes from just thinking there is somebody else next to us. And imagine the strength we can get if somebody else is actually beside us. So Raji talked about in Global Foundation, we started this, and this is something we started. My co-founder, Anu, is right here, Anu Sethuram. And we always have people who believe in us at the beginning of a journey. It's extremely important to have that. So we both were sit around a table in our house, and we were like, we hate the way India's story is told on US. We got to do something different. We said, okay, let's take TED to India. When you come up with these crazy ideas, you just are like, oh, let's just do it. It doesn't seem like it's very difficult when you think about something. And 15 years later, we are still pulling the car out, But it was so exciting. We said, let's just go do it. So we said, let's take TED to India. We took TED to India. So to date, we talked over 500 stories, 100 million views, many movies came out of it. But the thing that's most favorite to both of us is a program we have called Inc. Fellows, where every year we pick 20 amazing people and get them to do whatever they're doing and help them to be successful. So that's sort of what we do. So I just want to say that we are talking about what are the building blocks of this. And I'll just say it's ABC, And we've seen this in everyone who's successful. A stands for authentic. First of all, you have to be very authentic about yourself. If you're the talkative type, be the talkative type. If you're the shy type, be the shy type. If you are a nerd, be a nerd. Don't try to be someone else. Be who you are. And the B stands for bold. You just need to be bold. You know, you could be crazy, people will call you, what's wrong with you, but you got to be bold, okay? And the third, the C stands for something most important, is be curious. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, just be curious. You know, we have in our audience Heidi, and I just met her mom recently, whose name is Eva Haller, and she's going to be 96 on May 6th. She's the most curious person in the room. She's like, before meeting me, she says, oh, I read all about you. She did already some internet research as to who is she meeting, etc. She's a Holocaust survivor, and she's such a spirit, you know. So ageism is out. It doesn't matter. You could be 10 and be totally useless, or you could be 100 and be completely impactful. The key is being curious. So I want to end with another story, is that when I was about 15, 16, I was going in a bus, and when we were growing up in India, Hyderabad, there was a lot of eve teasing. What it means is that some idiot, some guy starts saying something about some girl, or pull her hair, or something like that, just because it's kind of fun. And I used to get very irritated, like, why do these boys behave like this? So that day, this guy, who I used to be very irritated with otherwise, a 6-foot fellow, you know, it should be like a rectangle, you know, like tall, big fellow. So this girl was going by, and he pulled her skirt or something like that. And I just got mad. I mean, he didn't pull my skirt. First of all, it's somebody else's business, but every business is my business as far as I'm concerned. So I just went to him, and we got off on the road, and the bus left, and I went to him and said, why did you do that? You know, like, and he looked down, he said something, and we both were having this full-on fight in the middle of the road. And I finished the fight, and the guy is like, I said, you got to say sorry, and something like that. Finally, so I turned around, all the girls are gone. The girl for whom I was fighting was also gone. So I'm like fighting, say, you got to say sorry to her, and I turn around, nobody's behind me. So I was like, it's okay, I accept your sorry, and I like walk away. Now thinking like a hero, I'm going to go to my college, my principal is going to call me and say, what a great job you did, I'm glad you stood up for her. So the principal calls me to her room. I'm like, she's going to say something nice to me. So I walk into the room with beaming eyes, and she says, I heard you had a fight with this guy on the street. I said, yeah. So she says, do you know whose daughter you are? Your father is such a famous doctor. Your aunt is such a famous principal. You like a, street person standing on the street yelling at some guy. That too, you are a girl fighting with a guy. What a shame it is to your family. And I was like, I thought they were going to give me an award. And what I got was this yelling, So I was very upset. So I came home. And in India, you guys have technology now. We've had this technology, whenever it was so many years ago. We have a telegraph. We have like a wireless information. By the time I went home, my dad already knew what happened. So he welcomes me, and he says, oh, heard you had a conversation with your principal today. So I said, I'm so upset. I told him, I said, this is what I did. Was I wrong? You always said I should fight for what I wanted, blah, blah. It is like this 15-year-old revolutionary, So he said, yeah, you fought. And this is what you have to remember. When you fight for what you want, everybody won't be on your side. There'll be very small percentage that will be on your side. There'll be many who will say, be a good girl. Just do what they say. Be a good girl. And if you want to be a good girl, you listen to what they say. Don't stand up in front of a street, fight with these guys and stuff like that. It doesn't mean you're a bad girl, but if you don't care about being a good girl, stand up for what you want. Be prepared for a lot of people to say what's wrong with you, but the two people who will support you will be with you for the rest of your life. It's a choice. Do you want to be a good girl? And everybody says, oh, what a good girl. Then you have to keep doing what the society wants you to do. If you want to do something different, be okay for some people not liking you. You can't be the most favorite person of everybody. You got to give up something. That was one of the best lessons that I received, is That's where authenticity, boldness, and curiosity matter. Don't care what the others say about you. Choose your 5 people who are always with you. And they may not be like you, they're very different from you, whatever, it's your family, it's your friends. Just as long as those 5 people are with you, there'll be at times when they won't be with you. You have to change your 5 people also. But you need 5 people who are with you always. And to me, with Raji, she's an amazing, amazing hero out there. I just realized as I get older that I don't need to do everything myself. I just have to find somebody who's really good at doing and just give them the ammunition and watch them run around. You know, you just sit back, watch them run around. It's beautiful. I'm like going, this is what my bosses used to do. Watch me run around while, like an idiot while they sat down and said, go Lakshmi, make this event happen, you know. So that's what we said to Raji. Raji, go make this event happen. And look what a great job she did. I mean, how many kids, and really a big round of applause to Raji for. And I told her that I'm going to throw you over the deep end and I'm not going to do anything. I've just been watching her flailing for the last few days and she came up beautifully. So I just want to leave all of you with the lesson that I learned is don't worry about being the good boy or the good girl. The opposite of good girl or good boy is not bad girl or bad boy. It's just not bothering to be a good girl or a good boy or a good person. You know, be yourself, be authentic, be bold, be curious, and you will just be fine. So here is to all the young people who are here, who've been that authentic. I mean, you've seen people on stage, you'll see people who may not be comfortable talking in front of everybody, people who are awkward, people who are shy, people who are all over the place, people go over time, all kinds of stuff. That's the beauty. Our imperfections are our beauties. So let's take that and remember, you're just not one blind old donkey. You have a huge, huge, huge group of people around you. Pick your 5, be truthful to them, make them successful, you'll just be fine. Thank you so much. So we have a short break now. For it doesn't mean don't disappear for half an hour. For 10 minutes, we want the kids to go get their lunch. When we say kids, we mean kids, not anybody over 12. So we're going to separate. So kids, go have your lunch because you need to go set up your demos and posters, etc. And only kids. Okay. We are going to count. If anybody tall gets up, we're going to make you sit down. Okay, she says until 18, but all right. And okay, in 10 minutes, everybody back in your seats, please. 10 minutes.
You've asked the kids to go out and eat lunch. There's nothing there. They're all lined up. Oh, she said it was set up. Nothing.
There's no lunch, is it? They didn't bring the lunch.
No, they haven't. They're supposed to have. No, it's 11 o'clock. It's not 11:30.
Oh, why did we do this?
Maybe there's some.
Okay, I need to ask them to come back, actually.
I think it's asked them to get
Oh shit, I made a mistake. Minute, yeah. Yeah, come back in. Hello. Hi, everybody. Can you please come back in? I made a mistake. The lunch is not here yet. Please come back in. In another 40 minutes, the lunch will be here. Please come back in. I apologize.
I'm not having lunch. I'm just having chai.
That's okay. Please come back in. Just ask everybody to come back in. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I apologize. Please take your seats. The kids will be at 11:30. I made a mistake. Please come back and sit down. Hi, everybody. Can you please take your seats? Okay, everybody at the side tables, can you please take your seat? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, can everybody please take your seats? Where's Kannan? Can we play the video? Please take your seats. Aryan, is anybody outside? Just okay. Just play the video. Can you play the video? Okay, everybody outside, please come on in. I truly, truly apologize.
Welcome to Maya, Book 1. And as a
Just increase the volume a bit.
Welcome to Maya, Book 1. An assassin masters the art of inciting a riot to save his son's life. A dual-headed revolutionary keeps a secret from the other head. The abandoned scion of a god has to win deadly trials to claim his place beside his mother. A shape-shifting scholar is on the run after allegedly eating a woman. A benevolent ruler nudges the fates of billions through stories. And a boy whose longing for connection threatens everything. I'm Anand Gandhi. And I'm Zen Maimin. We are the creators of Maya. For the last 20 years, I have written, directed, and produced feature films and theatre. I've created board games, and together we have also produced television, documentaries, and VR journalism. We have been able to build what we believe in because of you. We think of all our previous work as a proof of concept, a training ground, if you will, for something we have always dreamt of making, an epic that brings together our love for ancient myths and the philosophical depth, a love for high fantasy and its magic systems, and a love for hard science fiction that builds upon and pushes the known frontiers of science. We wanted to tell a story rooted in this trinity, while talking about who we are as a species, our place in the universe, and what we can become in the language of fable. A language that bridges the West and the East, the known and the unknown, politics and poetry, logos and mythos. So we began by creating a new world, and like the Saganian apple pie, we built everything from scratch. We got geologists, biologists, linguists, architects, artists from around the globe to build this new world with us. We now come to you with the first novel of Maya. We hope, we dream, that years from now we can all look back and say, it all started here. We bring to you Maya, and we hope you make it yours. Democracy was a story once. Money was a story once. Before anything becomes a solution, a way of life, or a cure, Someone has to dream it first and then make everyone else believe in it. That's the idea behind creators of Maya. That's why we're inviting you as a part of 1,000 young creators to tell stories that become solutions, to invent worlds that become blueprints, to participate in authoring the future.
Okay, so how many of you have seen Star Wars? You know Star Wars. Seen Dune, you know Dune. If you're not putting your hands up, either you're lazy or you've not been in this world. So everybody has heard of these things, right? Now, these are things that have been written long time ago. What would it be to be part of Star Wars as it's being created? What would it be if you could take one of the characters of Star Wars and write your own novel about it? You're not allowed to do that today because they're all protected characters. So this Maya is a universe already created. And it's a book that's coming out this summer. And it has amazing characters. And it's a sci-fi book in 3-part series. It's about a mythology for the new millennium. Every story, be it our Bible or Gita or something, Quran, these are all mythologies of the past. They were written to talk about a certain generation. Today we live in a data world. Today we live in a connected world. What is the mythology of today? And that's what Maya addresses. It's a book that's coming out. And the Young Creators Program is something where we want everybody to be involved in it. High school kids, college kids. You will have access to the first few chapters of the book. You can read it, and you can upload whatever your version of it, like a 2-minute summary of what you think it's about. And the best 1,000 people will be chosen to be part of this program. And then the top 5 people will get to go spend time with the filmmakers, etc. But the whole idea here is that Maya is being created as an open source platform. So here, there'll be some guardrails how you can use the characters. But potentially, once the book is out, etc., you can take one of the characters and make it your own book, write your own novel with that character. Or you could build a house. You can be an architect and build a house in this world. You can build costumes for the people here. You can do all kinds of things. We want to keep it as a sandbox where you can go and play. So we are launching this. Anand Gandhi is a national award-winning director from India, and Zain Memon is a board game designer. His board game is a political board game that's the #1 board game in India. They have come together to build this new world. For this, they have invited artists, like almost 60, 70 artists from across the globe who have created the characters. Some of the best voices in the world are giving the voice to the book. And so this is going to be an epic. You know, like when you look at Star Wars, imagine being able to say, I was there at the beginning of it. I saw it being formed. And that's really what's happening here. And we are going to be launching this. We are launching it here. We'll be launching it online for people to download, read, upload whatever your version of it. And then we'll decide who the winners are. So that's something. And then, is Suki here? Just, can you call Suki? Can you find Suki? Suki. Okay. So just continuing on this, what we said to you earlier, what I talked to you about earlier was that being authentic, being bold, and being curious, right? Now, how many of you went to Costco? How many of you go to Costco? Okay. Right. All of us, right? How many have you seen Suki's samosas in Costco? Okay. Pretty much everybody. Now, when you go see something in a store, you kind of wonder, do you ever wonder, like, who must have made this? Okay? So, today we have Miss Suki Singh, who is the creator of Suki's brand that sells in hundreds of thousands of Costco stores everywhere. Hundreds of millions of Indian meals have gone into mainstream American homes. And one of my favorite things to do when I travel with Suki to embarrass her is we sit in some arbitrary airport waiting for a flight. I'll be sitting next to somebody who's also going to San Francisco, random person. And I ask them,
oh, where are you going? I'm going to San Francisco. And then I say, oh, really? You know, like, what do you do? Blah, blah. Talk to them for 2 minutes. And I ask them, have you ever heard of Suki's food? And inevitably, they'll all say, yeah, of course I have heard about them. I have it in my house all the time. And I say, you know, this is Suki. And she's so embarrassed with it. And that person is like, what? Your food is in my freezer all the time. You are Suki? And we have a great conversation. I immediately get their phone number, send them a note saying, please donate to our foundation. So that's how I raise my funds. So I get to, when I'm in the Bay Area, I get to stay with Suki. So I thought you should all learn a little bit of thing or two about the ABCs of innovation that I talked about. With that, I invite Suki onto the stage. Come on over. Okay, I want to know, you all had Suki's samosas out there. A little louder applause will tell me you had her samosas. Come. She has to turn it on. Oh, sorry.
My voice is loud enough. It'll go to the end. But she is the most amazing person, and I attended the event that she did in India, TED India. I haven't forgotten it. Every part of that is still alive in my memory. It's an amazing job she does.
So, Suki, I thought I wanted them to hear about, you started your journey in farmers markets, selling your stuff there, you know, with chutneys, and it's sort of an interesting journey that you've had. And for that, you have to read the book I'm going to write about her. Oh. But I want you to tell us about, you know, once you said, you know, like, I have to also say that getting into, if you're somebody who sells a product, getting into Costco, like hitting the jackpot, okay? And people try for years to get their product into Costco. Costco walked into her stall and said, I want your product. So I can't talk to her about what does it take to get into Costco, because that came very easy for you. But what I want you to talk about is, here you are selling X number of things in a farmer's market. Now when Costco comes and says, I need 50,000 of your products there. There is this mindset change that has to happen to doing something in a farmer's market, to selling something so much, you know, like the scale and the attention to detail, the technology that comes into it. How did you learn that?
Well, I might have got into Costco at a certain time, but I've been shopping in Costco for many years before that. So you're always aware of, once you do any product, you're always aware of other products who are there before you and what they're doing. So you just go there and collect your information from the retail scene out there, and then just put it together. You know you need packaging. You know and some things just come by instinct. It was never a question in my mind that if I make something for X number of dollars, how much am I going to sell it for? How much of it is going to make me money? But my first thing was, okay, so how much does Costco mark up? When they buy, when they buy a certain product, what do they sell it for? And that becomes a basic thing. And then packaging. Packaging is very important. So it just got put together. I don't know. I don't remember what my steps were, but they were there. They got there.
But, no, I just have to tell you, because I think when somebody does it, they don't think about it. Let me give you a little bit of a background of, when you go into packaged foods, there are rules. You have to boil it at a certain temperature. You have to cool it at a certain temperature. You have to put it at a certain temperature. There is food technology, okay? Now, she had to learn all that. What is that technology? It's not like you didn't go in knowing that. You had to learn that, how to do that, right?
That's yeah, of course. How are you going to sell? And it's just a story that involved. I had a deli in Oakland, and I used to make foods and put them out there. And we had the Loma Prieta earthquake, and suddenly all our grosses fell $700 a day. And we didn't know what to do. We were new to the country, new to the business. I loved doing food, but how to do it was not something, again, you bought a place, you knew you had to buy a license. You had to sell food, you knew you had to sell it refrigerated. So when I started doing this, I was making these spice mixes and sauces and putting them on my counter. And one customer came by and said, "Oh, so you're going to sell this?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know that you have to get FDA approval?" I had no idea what FDA is in that time because this was my second year in this country. And I said, "No." He said, No, you can't sell stuff unless you have FDA approval." So that started my journey on finding out what FDA is, what I need to do. And similarly, whenever you do something, you ask questions and you get to learn them then.
So I think that comes from being curious, like asking the right questions and saying you never stop learning. And I want you to talk about, at the deli, she was running the deli in Oakland, the economic situation was not good. And something happened one day which made you close the deli. And there's this decision that you made. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it was Christmas Eve, and I was just sitting, a friend of mine had ordered some food, she came to pick it up from me, and I was just waiting and the dishwasher was inside doing dishes, and this man walked in, and he just held a gun to my friend's head and said, of course. I said, "Just take the money." My friend was slightly disabled, and I was very worried that she could fall down or something else happened to her. So of course we gave him all the money, and I said, "Go." And after that I said, "This is not worth my life. I'm not waiting." We thought that after the earthquake, the buildings would rebuild, people would come back. But that doesn't happen. If customers are gone, when they come back, they don't come back first. And then newer places open up, and your customer base that you paid for has gone. So that day, I just decided, I said, I'm not going to wait for things to change. I'm going. So I just sold something we had bought for close to $200,000. In those days was a lot of money. We sold for $60,000 and got out. And then by that time, I was selling those sauces from my counter. I decided, I had a feeling that this was going to work. I'd already put it in a store in Berkeley, and that's when I decided, this is it. We are not going to be staying here waiting for things to change. But the few lessons that I learned over there was I was not going to pay for a business. I was going to start it from scratch. I was not going to do a location business. I was going to go get my customer. So these are things that you learn from your mistakes, and if you learn the mistakes, you learn from them, you're ahead. If you don't learn from them, that's when the problem comes. So then I went out doing this. Is that what you wanted to know?
Yeah. So I wanted to say, actually, it's something that I learned from her changed our business strategy a lot, because whatever you learn from one business can be applied to other business also. The thing she told me that stayed with me was that I decided not to wait for the customer to come to me. I'm going to go to where the customer is, which is where she went to all the farmers markets. That lesson really stuck in my head, because for us, when Anu and I started this journey 20 years ago or 18 years ago, we did an annual conference like TED does, and people came to that. So we were sitting in our shop and people came. Things changed. People work from all over the place now. They don't want to do things the way they did. So that insight she had made me change our strategy. It's not about us doing an annual conference and bringing people. We should go to where things are already happening. We should go where Raji is already doing and be part of it. We should go to other places and do it. So what I want to say is that a business strategy you learn from one business can be applied to many, many things, as long as you get the source of it. So to me, that line was, I'm not going to wait for the customer. I'm going to go where the customer is, was a very, very brilliant insight. Now, after you did that, Suki, you've grown the company. One of the things I want you to talk about is, the way I met Suki was her daughter was working at eBay. I knew her through some friends in eBay.
I met her when she was going to leave that job and join Suki's company. This is in like early 2000s, 2006, 7, something like that. At the peak of technology industry. So I'm like, who is somebody who's leaving a tech job to join her mom, do food business in farmers markets or something? Like I had such sketchy information about it. It seemed interesting enough. I went and met her. She introduced me to Suki. And I went and saw their factory, and they were like, oh, we sell like whatever, $1 million worth of food or something like that. At that time, I'm like, wow, $1 million worth of Indian food they're selling. They're like amazing. And now it's like 100-fold or more. But at that time, to me, it seemed so amazing that her daughter, who was at eBay, her son, who was at Macromedia, and her older daughter, all of them left their jobs to join this business, to grow it to what it is today. So it's amazing to me, like, it's hard enough to get my son to take a piece of furniture from point A to point B. So how did she get all her kids to work together? For 15 years now, we've been working together, more than that, working together, and they all still love each other. They all still talk to each other. They have not fallen out of favors. So I want you to talk a little bit, Suki, about what was it to working with family and how did you keep them? I know you disagreed on things also. So how did you stay together as a family while you were working?
I think we all had the same values, and we were, first generation immigrants. We came here like everybody else with one suitcase, and you can't bring money from your own country, so you start from scratch over here. So everything we did together. That was the main thing. As I said, once we lost all this money, we could not have any more money to put places. So everything we did ourselves. All the kids were my free labor, and we thought of everything ourselves. Okay, so as Lakshmi said, Costco came to us, or Whole Foods came to us. So whatever we were planning, whatever dishes I would put out, everybody would taste them, everybody would come back and say, no, change this or change that. And it just so happened that my son was a tech person, and he would make the labels or design the labels. And my younger daughter was a marketing person. She would go out, and she's the one who brought Lakshmi into my life, or brought me into Lakshmi's life, whichever way you take it. And my elder daughter was a manager. She would manage everything, and my husband did the finances. So it all fell into place together. And again, as I said, we all had the same values, and I was very lucky that my daughter quit eBay. But I asked my son, I said, so what do you find here that you're going to quit your job? I can't pay you what you're getting over there. He said, Mom, where can we think of an idea, put it together, and put it in the market within a month and see the results? I can never do this anywhere else except in my own business. And luckily, they were all interested in food, so they all came in. And it just, I don't know, we all, again, other people asked this question before too. So how is it that you all work together and you still look forward to being together over the weekends? Yeah. So I was just very lucky, I think.
Okay. She says lucky. I have a business analysis of everything. I've seen in her case, no matter what, they all get together once a week. Everybody gets together. She has one-on-ones with her kids. Like she goes on a walk with the son once a week, goes to walk with her daughter once a week. They have not lost their individual relationships in the group. And they make sure they meet as a group also. They travel together as family once a year. So there's a lot of things that are in place that ensure that happens. It doesn't happen automatically. And she doesn't know, you do this intuitively, but there's a formula for it. So my last area of question for you, Suki, is that now we are in the AI world. And so I remember every time I would have a gathering, I'll have somebody like an Anand Gandhi or someone, she's like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Most of us, 90% of the time, don't understand what's happening in the room, but you have to keep asking questions. So we started our journey with, we have no idea what this AI is.
what is it. But tell me a little bit about what are the things you discovered about AI so far and how you use it. And to this day, she's the Chief Innovation Officer of Suki. She keeps inventing new dishes. So since I live with her, I get to see all these things in the making. Tell me a little bit about how you're using AI now in what you're doing.
You know, I'm not at this stage. I just see how it can make my life easier. And my son, of course, is now doing his own stuff, but he has made a program on ChatGPT for me, and I just keep calling out the ingredients and the amounts I'm putting, and ChatGPT puts it together and gives me the final recipe, something I used to take 10 hours on, I get in within minutes. And also it has found that, so then I ask it, okay, give me a 100-pound recipe of the same thing. Or I'll ask another question, what is the spice level it'll give me? So now it knows that I ask these questions, and when I put a recipe in, it straight away says, do you want me to put it together in a commercial form for you? Do you want me to put it in a place where you've got your spices separate, sauce separate? And it reduced my work by tenfold.
Okay. So we are here. I think the only job Suki and I have in this room is to bring the average age of this room up. That's our only function here. But we keep showing up, you know. So tell me, Suki, why are you here? Why are you interested in what the youth is doing? Why are you interested what all these people are doing?
I just want, remember I asked you to come and I got some middle-aged women together, and I asked them to come and tell us and teach us what AI is. We keep hearing this AI, but in our generation, we didn't have it. In our generation, when we started off, we didn't even have calculators. I remember the first time I was in London, and my husband brought this big calculator home, and we were, wow, what does it do? Before that, it was just,
in your head.
And within a year, when we left England, the calculators had become this size. And now here, a few years ago, we were hearing AI, and now it is all around us. So I said, come and teach us what AI can do for us. So now I wanted to see how these young people are doing stuff and producing apps and things. So just to be a part of the whole system, process.
So I just want to wrap up by saying, remember I said ABC, right? You got to be authentic. So here is somebody. One thing about Suki is that she calls it like it is. You know, whether you like it or not, you'll hear what she thinks. So I have to tell you a funny story. Well, is the food set up already? No. Okay. So I'll keep talking. So. Yeah, we are filling the gaps. So I have to tell that, I stay with Suki now. So first few days, she gets up in the morning, she takes a shower, gets beautifully, just like this, she dressed. I said, oh, Suki, where are you going? Nowhere. I'm here in the house. She dresses so nicely, and I'm like, if I'm in the house, I'm in my night dress till midday, So now I'm so scared that I have to also get ready a little nicely in the morning when I get up. But the point is that you're always ready. In the sense, it's not like, oh, the day is going. There's a certain authenticity about who you are and the way you call on things, etc. So I want to open up for, actually I want to, Aryan and Adi, take one mic. Whoever has a question, if there's another mic. Okay, because when you guys ask questions, we can't hear you. So these are our two handsome mic runners, okay? We have this Inc. Fellows program. Anu and I run this, and we joke around. We say that we have over 250 Inc. Fellows now. This is a great way to pick the children you want to have, Oh, 1,000 people apply, we take 20 people. We say, oh, I like you. You get to be my children, So somebody else done all the work for 25, 30 years, and we just pick them. So we have, between us, 250 kids. So we have 2 more children now, very handsome, smart, Berkeley people. So very expensive mic runners.
Someday they are going to be making $1 million a year. You'll be sitting outside their office, be really nice to them. So what I thought is, since Suki is here, you can ask questions. And actually, Neeru, why don't you come back up? I cut off your questions. Come back up, please. So you have questions for Neeru. You have questions for Suki. You can ask. So till the food is set up, we can have a little bit of a conversation. Come on.
I have a question for Suki. Suki, I've known her for a very few weeks now, just a few weeks now, but I had an amazing conversation with her, and this question is coming up from that. I know you also as a food scientist. Tell me about how you experimented with pH of the samosas, what difficulties you faced with the health department, and how did you come with... Huh?
There are some that are trade secrets, so you can't talk about it.
Oh.
For that, you have to pay $100 million.
Such a bummer.
But now you know, even the samosas didn't just come out there on their own. There was a lot of science that went into it. That's all you need to know. Beyond that, $150 million.
Okay. So
okay, another question.
Suki.
Do something like, so when you go to a store and you see products on the shelf, some of them are in bottles on the shelf, some of them are in a cooler, some of them in a freezer. So I'll just give you a little basic, what is the difference. So you cannot sell things on the shelf unless your recipes have gone to the Food and Drug and they've approved them for selling at ambient temperature. The difference is temperature, right? If on the shelf, it is regular temperature. On a refrigerator, it is 40 degrees. In the freezer, it is even lower. So products have a different shelf life. So when you have to sell a product, I don't mean a spice powder or something, but a liquid of any kind, it goes in the shelf. It has to meet certain criteria, and those criteria are the acidity level and the water activity. So if a product is, acidity level is 4.5 or less, and it has to be hot packed. It has to be packed at a temperature of 160 and above. On a refrigerated item, it has to be, the temperature has to be, is the only control. But ambient temperature, it has to be water activity less than there are two measurements, pH and water activity. So water activity has to be less than 0.85, and pH has to be less than 4.5. If you pack it hot, it's fine. But if you're not packing it hot, then the water activity and pH both come into play. So that's how you differentiate.
Thank you, Suki. Thank you.
And she says she doesn't know anything, So any questions for Neeru? Sorry, I cut off earlier.
This kid has a question.
Did you, when the earthquake happened, did the deli break or it stayed up?
I got wish good. No, the deli didn't break, but other buildings around where our customers came from, they got damaged and the customers moved out into different areas. So I lost my customers, not the deli, which was a problem because if I had damaged the deli, I would get some government aid, but nothing happened to the deli.
Any other questions?
We've got one here.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, hi. Hi. For anyone out here who has a new idea, what's your advice on where to start with a new idea? What should you start to think about as it's coming together?
Depends on the idea, no? Depends, it's an IT idea, or it's a food idea, or it is book, anything in the world you can start. There's everything. So it depends on what kind of thing you want to start.
So let's say, actually there is, no matter what you want to do, is it that? Okay. Like in her case, again, as an outsider, you can see what she did. Any idea, if you're first, you have to do it yourself and try it out. Whether it's a book or a company or, in her case, food, She just made the sauces and believed that somebody is going to buy it. She didn't wait for some market research that told her, yes, somebody will buy it and I will guarantee you this sales. No. You have to take the chance and you go out there and say, oh, looks like somebody likes this sauce better than that sauce, and so, etc.
Yeah. You will do something which only if the people around you are going to say, oh, you write beautifully, you must start writing. Or you cook beautifully, you should do this. So you hear that around you, and that's what makes you take the first step. And that is your first market research, because the people around you, your family around you, your friends, who are going to say that, do this. Now you keep telling me, write a book. I don't know. So, but that's what happens. That's
I keep saying I will write a book.
And I'm sure when, Neeru's, she's in the education field, she must have got people saying, oh my gosh, you should get your ideas out to a wider audience, and other children also should benefit, and that gives you the confidence of going out and doing it.
So why don't you?
Actually, other people did not tell me to do this.
Who?
Other people did not tell me to do the education.
But you got the feeling that you need to share this with other people, right?
It was myself. Then I found people who cared about the same ideas, and there were many.
But you had done like in New York, you saw how the kids wanted to take that to many more people, right?
Right. That's, first of all, I think you have to know what it is that you're passionate about, that you want to make a difference. And only then can you, that's the first step. So if you have the first step, and then you want to, kind of say, what should I do? If you're a young person, I would start with your parents or your teacher. And maybe, where is she? Raji. Go to Raji. She's a great source for young people to talk about. Who?
There's a question.
Yes.
Hi, this question is probably for both of you, both Sukiji and Neeru. Regarding where STEM is going, what is one non-technical skill, non-STEM literacy related skill that you think every youth has to develop right now?
You know what? No matter what, I think you need to know how you can think logically, how you can express yourself. Remember, people used to laugh about, what are you going to do with an English degree? Today, when you think about AI, the first thing that you had to do was to learn how to prompt. Prompt is a very important skill because it teaches you to think about what is it that you want. What should you be asking? What are the kind of questions? And everyone was saying, oh, children are going to cheat with AI. But the reality is they're learning the skills of asking questions, getting the answers, refining those answers, and it's a new way of learning. So now it's not about STEM or it's about how are you going to use this thing.
Yeah, that was my example. What's the non-technical, non-literacy related skill that you think the youth of today needs? Because everything is accessible to them. They can build an app as early as like 4th grader, right? So what's the one skill from your experience of employing probably or working with a lot of youngsters right now that you see in the next 10, 20 years that kids have to develop?
Communication.
Right.
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 That's collaboration. You have to collaborate, you have to communicate. Those are important skills still.
What do you think, Vicky?
All right, we've got another question here.
Hi, thank you for sharing your inspirational journey. And since you two have been at it for so long, Suki and Neeruji, my question is, when you are taking the ChatGPT recipe or you are creating a lesson plan or training your AI tutor, how do you gather feedback from your power users to maybe iterate on the idea or constantly keeping improving the system for your users so they keep coming back? So yeah, if you can share a little bit about that.
So for us, we do have info at CK12. You can actually send us messages. So we'd love to hear from you. You know, that's the best method to come back. And I encourage everybody to use CK12 platform and give us feedback. Because it's very important for us to know what worked, how it worked, why it didn't work, you know, then we can fix it.
Adi?
We've got a question from this student here.
So I know that you met every week, and I know you probably had some issues and conflicts that you had to resolve. So how did you choose what issues that you would take in and the issues that you would delegate to others? Yeah, Miss Singh, yeah.
When you said meet only once a week, what say?
So I know like you met every week, and there was some. So.
Talking about the family? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so there were some conflicts that came up. So how did you delegate the conflicts or like the issues? Like how did you know who could solve it the best and what issues that you would take in to try to solve?
Yeah, how did you solve your conflicts? No, not scared. Like.
You know, the conflicts were never about the products. The conflicts were, okay, so I think I'm going to put the shelf over here during the show and put the products here, or they're going to be put at another place. We never had conflicts because everybody's goal was the same, to get the products to sell and have the best image out there. So these are very small conflicts. They were not really conflicts which would affect our sales or something, or how we are going to do something. We all sat down and put it, and we kind of, everybody had their area of expertise, and we took that for sure. We followed it.
I just want to say they met once a week as a family for a dinner, but they worked together every day. So the conflict didn't have to wait for once a week. And secondly, this is something at that time when I worked at Intel, our CEO, Andy Grove, used to say, you come together as a group, you discuss everything. Everybody won't agree, but once you agree on an action, you either agree and commit or disagree and commit, but you have to commit to that. And then if there are any small conflicts, because they worked all day together, they could resolve it very quickly. But the once a week was just family getting together for a meal, not for work. Somebody at the front had a question? Yeah, go ahead.
So what were some like problems that you faced while trying to what were some problems you faced while trying to start Suki's Food? Like any like prompt problems or anything? Like any like challenges you faced while trying to make it?
Challenges are there all the time. You know, you just have to find a way of dealing with it. Challenges, I'll tell you one challenge that I got. I had sent my products in, I don't know if you'll understand this, but anyway. So we have food service. The main idea is to sell your products, right? So I had sent my products to Hewlett-Packard, the company who ran the food in Hewlett-Packard. So they said, you need to be approved. So I sent my products in, and they said, we can't approve you because you don't meet certain standards over here. So I said, so what are your standards? Because I use the same ingredients from the same vendors as you use in your kitchens. Oh, it doesn't pass this, it's a raw product, and it doesn't get to our, again, what I was saying, the pH and all that. So I said, I had to kind of clarify it with them. It's not a raw product. You are going to cook with it before you give it to your, all your people in your company. So I had to fight it. I couldn't just let it go. Once they said no, I said, no, you go and reason it out with them. And it was a big challenge, because that was a big stepping stone for me to be able to go and sell all across the country. If I didn't get that approval, I wouldn't be able to go. But I didn't take a no. I worked on it, and I got them to understand it, and so you always will find a way around it.
Yeah, so just one more thing. What do you think, like, have you have to made any, like, subtopics or any new kinds of apps to, like, help you sell your food and get it to others, like either scheduling apps or anything like that?
I don't use them, but the planning people do. The people who schedule all the work, they use their apps.
So you know something, these kind of the things you're talking about or asking about, these apply everywhere. Every business you will do, you will have problems. You will have processes that you need to kind of think about. So I would suggest, are you thinking of starting a business? Yeah? So I would highly recommend you go to, the ChatGPT or Claude, whatever you use, AI, and ask, what are the things I should be aware of for the particular business you want to do? Yeah.
Wait.
What's some advice that you would give for somebody who's trying to start a business or like a app?
Somebody who wants trying an
Start an app.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, start. Right? Start building. Do you know what you want to do?
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm trying to create like it's trying to help trash like around the world.
You want to manage the trash around the world?
No, I want to like create a product that can help minimize trash like plastic and like pollution.
That would be a great product, by the way. That's much needed. So you should seriously think about it. What I would do, maybe, Raji, you could find someone in that business you can set him up with as a mentor, right? So that you can then talk to them and they can help you think through it. Don't give up.
I already have a product in that, by the way.
You already have it? Wow.
There you go. So you should tell them.
Well, you can talk to me. I would be happy to talk to you afterwards.
So she's going to be over there, so you should go talk to her.
All right,
Tell
thank
her
you.
your product.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you because you're thinking along the right things. Yeah. Learn because things are going to change, but start learning about these things.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see young people like you wanting to learn.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. So my question is for Sukhiji. So how the shelf life of food products is decided based on the packaging? It may be your trade secret, but just you can give us a little idea about it.
Yeah.
The shelf life of food products, how it is decided.
Okay. So, we make like, yeah, I think so. So depends on the item, what you want to do. Is it, are you going to be selling it frozen? Are you going to be selling it refrigerated? Or are you going to sell it, this thing? So the product goes through a whole system. We'll make for example, we are selling refrigerated. So we will make a certain amount, date it, and then every week we will open one. First is sensory. Does it taste good? Then we will send it to the lab, and then they will test for all microbial analysis of it and see if it is right. So where it starts deteriorating first, sensory. It doesn't matter, the product could be safe to eat, but if it doesn't taste good, that determines the shelf life.
So
And there are guidelines.
We physically
actually.
do it. We have to, the shelf life is nothing that you can send someplace and get it done. You physically, it has to go through that process of how long you want the product to last.
But there are rules. The government tells you this can be there only for 3 months, 6 months, like that.
No,
or
it
you
depends
decide?
on the microbiological testing of the product.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Again,
products.
it could be safe to eat, but it won't, like for example, I'll tell you the samosas, whatever we sell them. They are microbiological good to eat for 5 days, 6 days, but they don't taste good. So there in itself, it'll say, okay, the shelf life is only 3 days or 4 days.
So for products which are like 1 year shelf life, right?
1
Usually
year,
frozen
1.5
products do have.
year.
So
Yeah.
do you taste it after 1 year?
They will be kept for that long, yeah. Again, as I said, before that, it doesn't matter, the taste goes off.
Yeah, right.
So you can't sell them. That determines the shelf life.
And so are other factor texture and are those factors also considered besides taste?
Say that again.
So other factors like texture of the food?
Absolutely.
Everything is
Absolutely,
considered
yeah.
for that?
Yeah, you have to. As a manufacturer, I can't say it is safe to eat, keep eating it, right?
Right, yeah,
So you will say, okay, after this date, stop. This is the shelf life.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, and Raji, can you just find Raji, please? No, not yet. Yeah. Okay. Any other? We'll continue with the questions.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go next. So, as someone at UC Berkeley and someone who runs some nonprofit initiatives to support students back home in Minnesota, my question is targeted at Niru Khosla. And so, as someone, like I said, who runs an education nonprofit for the Minnesota students, I would love to know how you guys measure your KPIs, your key performance initiatives. In other words, how do you measure the success of your students beyond just the number of people that enroll? What are ways that you keep in touch with them to make sure that the product has worked for them?
So that's a great question. The problem is that our project has been a long-term project. And we've been changing the project, not the project, but the product. We've been improving it. Because first we started, so every stage, every phase of the product had a particular KPI, right? How many flex books were created? How many people, the first thing everyone does is how many people are using it? How many people are creating? How many people are using the stuff that's created, right? You start measuring these kinds of things. Those are the basic things, right? Now we are at a stage that we can actually look much deeper into the various measurements that we can use. And actually, Ravi heads the data team at this point. And basically, his team is looking deeper into the pathways students are using. How many, what products they're using. As we put in the heart of our system, which was an adaptive system, how many people are using that? What questions they're getting wrong? We can tell the students more, Ravi, you want to add something else?
I think for each product line, you need to look at what are those success metrics, and you want to keep a close eye on those. And we try to do that, be it our student, be it the student tutor or the teacher assistant. So we try to make sure that we are measuring it and also experimenting around it.
Thank you, guys.
Our song and dance is going to end because the food is almost ready. So, so one last question, if anybody has, and then we are going to have Raji come and introduce. Oh, yes, Kannan, yes.
Okay, so this is for Sukhi. So food is a extremely human touch space, right? We love our mothers, grandmothers, mom, dad, anybody's cooking, right? We love going to restaurants where we are served by people who do with a smile, and we like all of that stuff. We go to a food truck or a street side shop, the human emotion is always involved, right? But the algorithm is coming to the food industry, right? AI, robots. So how do you see it all panning out, right? Would it be reduced to a state where it will be very rare to see that human touch with respect to food preparation and food delivery?
So, it's funny. we've been talking about AI, and I was hearing something. They said all jobs are going to be replaced by AI. 99% jobs are going to be replaced by AI. I said, well, thank God, they can't replace food. We'll need people all the time to cook food. I don't think AI can cook food for you, right? So we are safe with food. And
Maybe robots can.
not really. I don't know. I I haven't seen a robot can cook food right now. They can pick up stuff and put it here, or say, okay, you program it to put 4 ounces of the product. It'll keep putting it. But that's about it. I haven't seen a robot that can cook food.
Actually, I have. In China, they have these robots that are cooking for people in their homes. So it's coming.
No, they're cooking, but they're not.
They're not replacing the
Yeah,
food.
that's what I'm saying. The sensory part of it, I don't know.
Well, I think the one thing that I must say as a closing remark, it doesn't matter what's happening. You still need to learn and be educated. So I think that the most important thing that we can do is educate ourselves. Like this gentleman here was asking, that's what it's all about if you want to keep advancing. No, it's true. I'm glad you were asking these questions. So if you want to make that progress, we still have to keep learning. So don't stop learning, okay?
What they did, when they were now they are in 6th grade, so they did in the 5th grade. Okay, can you hear me? So that got already selected in the international level, the project, what they did in the...
Great, that's wonderful. So I want to wrap up by saying that I think we have to... Yeah, that's okay, yeah. So when you say learn, in our time, learning was go to school, get a degree. Now learning is doing. So, go to things that are going to teach you why you are learning that and not just what you're learning. So with that, I want Raji to come on. You guys stay here, you come and tell us what they're going to be doing and what certificate they're giving and why, because it's a great story.
So every quarter, we give a Blue Robins Fellowship Award to one student. This time, it is our youngest student, Azai. He's just 7 years old. He's 9. Come. He started with us 3 projects before, so I still have that in mind. Azai, please come on stage. Yeah. So, come. So Azai is going to talk about his project and what he did. He has done 2 projects so far, isn't it? What did you build?
So I'm Azai Wadwa. I'm a 3rd grader at Head Roy School, and I'm very passionate about taking care of our planet. And I wanted to get people's attention and kind of address problems that are happening in our world. And I chose 4 dragons to kind of represent these problems and make stories on how we can fix it. And I also built dioramas of my dragon's habitats to bring the project to life and show them in their homes. And I chose dragons because I feel like they can be really unique. It's one of my biggest interests. They're very different. Yeah.
Okay, so why did you pick me? Why I picked him? So I picked him because of his ability to do 3D printing. He would go ahead and do dioramas. He would ask, can I put an NFC sticker? He will keep us constantly on toes. He would keep his mentor on toes. He would keep me on toes. He would keep his mom on toes, everybody on toes. What can I do next? What can I do next? Can I build this? Can I build this? Can I build a 3D printed lamp? Can I put an NFC tag and people can click and bring out a story? So he not only built the 3D printed dragons himself, he has got a 3D printer at home. He did 3 projects in 3D printing, and he has been doing it so far. And he convinced his mom to get a 3D printer as well. So he is a go-getter, and he keeps innovating. He keeps building products, and he has a great heart. He has a great heart, and that's the essence that we look for: innovation and kindness, and the amount of empathy these kids have. They are 1,000 times better than what I was at their age and what I am today. So I'm very proud of Azai Wadhwa. Please give, and I would love to invite his mom as well. It's not possible without her, guidance. So tell me about 3D printing, Azai. What do you like about it?
I like how there's many gadgets to try out, and how there's always a new way to do things, and how we can get around problems. I love using the AI. I like prompting it a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's doing already AI, he's doing 3D, he's doing electronics, he's combining art with it. What more can you do, right? We'll see. So to his mom, tell me a little bit about Azai's journey.
Well, first I have to say, this has been a really energizing day. So congratulations to the Blue Robins team and our amazing set of speakers this morning, and all of you. Part of why I was so excited as a parent and a mom to find Blue Robins is because of the project-based learning. What Azai does at school is incredible, and they're all the foundational things he needs. But project-based learning, the learning by doing, and the things that force him to collaborate, create, being able to work with his mentor, Rosh, who I know is out here and has been incredible, was what I was inspired by. It was a way for him to look at how he can use all of his creative skills, right, his many skills, and bring them all together in this multimodal project. I love the fact that Blue Robins, they design their programs in quarterly sprints, and he's been able to build on an idea and grow that idea and iterate on it. And finally, I think it sort of really helps instill creativity and a sense of excitement for learning.
Thank you, Aisha. I would love Suki and both of you to do the honors. Please come on stage and give him the award. One picture with Suki and Neeru with Azai.
Almost as tall as I am.
Thank you, Suki. Thank you, Neeru. Thank you so much. Come this way. Go slowly, okay? Go down slowly. Thank you, dear. Thank you, Suki. Thank you, Neeru. I'm going to let them come. Slowly. Thank you for having conversation.
This was just like pulling teeth out.
Thank you. Yeah. So next up, we would like to introduce our judges. Dilip Patel. Wave your hand if you're here. He's one of our judges. Dilip is there. He's one of your judges. He'll be judging your posters. We have with us Asra. Asra, are you here? She is the director of youth programs at UC Berkeley. Asra, please come, raise your hands. So she will be judging your live demos. And yeah, we also have Ariel. Ariel, are you here? Yeah, please stand up. She's one of our judges too. So a big round of applause to our judges. Now the students can break for lunch, only the students. And after that, first the judges will judge your project before everybody else joins, okay? Let's give judges at least 15 minutes to see your project because the kids will be very tired if you put judges at the last. So we want judges to see the projects first. Thank you so much, and let the kids break for lunch. Okay, please form two lines, one growing this side and another line growing the other side, okay? Volunteers, please be at the lunch counter. Volunteers needed at the lunch counter. Thank you so much. Have a good meal. Adults, please stay in the room. We have a panel. Adults, please stay in the room. Your kids will be fine. They will eat without you. It's okay. Don't worry. Parents, please come inside. Your kids will be taken care of by volunteers. They can eat by themselves. Parents, please come inside. Parents, please come inside. Please be seated. Kids, you can be in a kids line. Please form a line. Parents, please come inside. You will have your lunch half an hour after the kids. Parents will have lunch half an hour after the kids. Please let the kids eat first. All kids come, please.
So, two questions. One, my kid is here. It's a demo. Does he stay there or he needs to go somewhere?
Judges, can you please come near the stadium? Judges? Judges, could you please come near the stadium?
I'll just go and do it.
That's why she wants you to be here.
Yeah,
She wants to talk to you how to do it. Hi. You one of the judges?
Yes, I'm from Berkeley High.
Oh, yes. Hi. Nice to meet you. Thank you for all the things you guys have done.
Yeah, so I work with Berkeley Business Academy for you, so we run middle school and high school business.
One second, I'll get Raj.
did a great job. I did okay. I haven't heard of it. 450.
Okay. You have, okay, hold on.
Yeah, let's discuss.
Tell me,
only
what do you
posters.
have? Best, best?
First, best biotech poster. Only this is only for poster. This is only for posters. Best biotech poster, and then there is one more poster award. No, can you check?
So these are the three that I have: community impact, interdisciplinary, and hardware.
Hardware. Those are all live demos. Those are all live demos. So best biotech poster,
And she
and
is
then
the same
best
time.
interdisciplinary project.
That's also for posters?
Live demo and
live demo
poster.
and
They are separate, right?
Yeah,
Some
they're
might be
separate.
common.
They're separate.
So you guys are live demo?
Posters and live demos are different.
So we are going to the posters room or
You're going to the posters room.
And they are going to live
And
demos.
they are going to the live demos.
Okay, best biotech, best,
biotech, best interdisciplinary
poster,
projects. These
poster.
two are, and then best research poster.
A poster. Why don't we carry poster? Both of us. Why
Best
don't you give
research.
us? Why don't you split?
So these are 3 awards, okay? Best biotech poster, best interdisciplinary
I'm going to give
poster,
this to you.
and best research. That's all.
Okay.
Research.
And then for,
Interdisciplinary.
take a picture of it. Take a picture of the poster. These are the 3 things you
And
did.
let me give you the certificates.
Hold on. Don't give the separate.
Best interdisciplinary is here.
how much time do we have?
Best biotech.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Don't give the certificates to them. You keep the certificates with you.
How many? We are just seeing how many
us
of
with the certificates and they'll be like, okay, these are judges.
No, yeah. That is
How
also
many?
true.
Best biotech, how many awards are there?
Hey, can we count?
Are we giving 1 or 2 or? Are we getting that? Oh, best, right? So it's only 1, no?
No, 1, 2. Oh no, actually no. 1, 2, 3.
For
We have
biotech?
3. Best biotech is 3.
Okay.
We'll do a 1 award.
Are there
award
3
1, 2,
participants?
3. Huh?
Best interdisciplinary.
Participants also will.
Best interdisciplinary, how much?
Best interdisciplinary.
How many participants are there?
One second.
Many questions are coming. Wait.
How many posters are there?
There are 30 posters who were did, but I don't know how many are coming. If there are less, then we can give less. Best interdisciplinary project is 2.
Okay.
I think we had 2, right? Best interdisciplinary.
So we have both of those. Both of the interdisciplinary projects, we have those.
We have only
Okay.
biotech.
Best
Biotech 3 is there. Best interdisciplinary, we have one only.
Okay, one.
1, 2. We have 2 of them. Okay, we have 2 of them. And
Best
then
research?
Best research, we have 2 as well.
This is poster.
This is for posters.
Yeah, and don't pick in the same field. If there is best research, don't pick it in the same field. One could be in finance and business or something else.
Okay, now hold on.
So we need a spread.
Hold on. The demo?
Demos, what are the things that you have?
We have one best community
impact, community impact.
We have 2 best community impact.
Yeah.
Then we have 3 best hardware builds.
3 hardware bills.
And then 2 interdisciplinary.
2 interdisciplinary.
Okay, sorry. Best community impact, how many? One. Only one?
Yeah.
Best community impact, 2. Okay. And then one then the next one is?
3 hardware builds.
Okay.
And then 2 interdisciplinary projects.
Hardware build is 2.
We have 3.
And then last one is inter. Okay. Who's doing the demos?
We are.
You are? Take a picture of it.
Right, I'm doing that.
For posters, do we care?
I can get it. Look, you're so much
Do we care
faster.
more about just the overall merit of the work, or also about the
That's okay. You guys are together. So.
Yeah, everything, all of it. So we want to know if they are able to explain what
2
their
to 3.
work is,
Biotech,
why it is
interdisciplinary
important,
research.
and also see grade level. Okay, some might be very young kids, so definitely
judge
see
based on
for
the grade.
Can I take a picture of the posters?
I'm going to give it to you guys.
When you come back, I'm going to announce you. Okay, apologies. Don't worry. No, I'll correct my mistake.
It's okay. We made Dilip CK12 person.
I know. I have to apologize for that also. I don't know why my designer has said he was okay, he was cool with it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Actually,
Wait, how much time do we have?
Niru asked me, we need more people like you to join. I'm like,
We have the judging is till 2 o'clock, right?
Judging is good.
So 12:30 to 2.
By 2:30, we can have all the winners. Okay, I think that's good.
What time?
Poster, yours is poster.
Have lunch, no? Have lunch quickly.
Here's your demo.
Then we can go.
Here is the demo.
Do you want to just quickly see how many are there?
Lunch in 15
So
minutes.
we have
now,
idea
and
how
then
much time we need.
What room is it?
How can, are they judging? The kids won't set up.
Oh, I think there is one
The kids
poster.
don't have
Rajiv.
set up yet. They're eating now, right?
They will do right after. They would have already
One
set up.
demo, I don't know this
We
poster.
made sure that they're all set up.
But check, but one
They
is
just have
demo
to go
for
there
sure.
and.
So shall we ask people to sit down?
Certificates. Can we get back the certificates?
My phone, damn it. I left my phone somewhere. That's okay. We'll just keep this here in case we need to write more stuff. Okay, should we ask people to come back?
You properly created good chaos in
I know.
this thing. Everyone's like, oh, happy, okay, we can go and talk. Because this lady told us to go for lunch, there's no lunch. Then they say only kids lunch. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you go?
Oh, okay, awesome.
Announce the panel.
Everyone, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Testing, testing. Hello, everyone. Can we please come back inside? Yes. And anyone who is presenting the demos, any kids, please go ahead and go to the next room. Everyone else, please come back inside. Again, anyone who is a parent or here for support, please come inside. Anyone who's going to be a student and is doing a demo, please go to the next room. I'm sorry? Oh, volunteers can eat? Okay. And I want to announce for all the volunteers. Oh, demo and volunteers, please, you can go ahead and eat, and you can go ahead and go to the next room. And as we're going to come back over here, please everyone sit down so I can be able to go ahead and announce the next steps. Okay. Alrighties. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ruby Mejia. I am the founder of Puerta Abierta and a mentor here with Blue Robins. And it is truly an honor to be part of today's conversation. Right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to dive into one of the most important conversations of our time. What does it mean to raise kids when AI, social media are reshaping how they think, how they form an identity and see themselves? Now, to help us navigate, please welcome our moderators for today. I would love to welcome Rohini Tolani Sadargoni. She is the CEO of Nathri, where she leads a fast-growing global community and platform advancing South Asian women in leadership, AI, and boardrooms. Now, joining her is Akansha Agarwal, SVP of Commercial Strategy at Uber Freight, driving billion-dollar revenue impact, leading cross-functional teams, and steering global strategy throughout Google, Amazon, and Meta. And finally, I would also love to welcome Aisha Matthews Wadwa, Executive Brand and Creative Leader at Proofpoint, building enterprise brand systems with studio caliber impact across AI, cyber security, and fintech. Please give them a warm welcoming hand.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear myself. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you for making the time to patiently sit here while I'm sure the stomachs are rumbling, but better to feed the kids than ourselves, right? So impressed by everything that these young kids are doing. I am a mother of 2 girls who are 24 and 25, and I missed this entire journey. My kids were raised in a very, very AI agnostic world, and back then social media was the biggest influence and we thought it was tough. This one is even tougher, although watching Azai on stage, listening to his confidence and actually spending 2 minutes with him, learning about what he did, I think, Aisha, you're doing a great job, and I'm sure, Akansha, you are as well. But let's jump right into it. So just to, kind of add to the framework that was introduced, AI layered on top of social media is not just changing what children see, it is reshaping how they think, learn, and come to understand themselves. For the first time, they are growing up in a world where intelligence is on demand and identity is constantly being shaped in public and in real time. The pace of this shift is faster than most families are prepared for, leaving parents to navigate new questions about learning, self-worth, and boundaries without a clear playbook. This conversation is about making sense of that landscape and exploring what it means to raise grounded, confident children within it. Thank you, Aisha, and thank you, Akansha, for making the time to do this. I'm going to direct my first question at Aisha. AI is changing not just what children learn, but how they learn. Where are you seeing it enhance curiosity and learning, and where might it be quietly reducing effort, critical thinking, or resilience? And as I close your ears, yeah?
So I really think that I'm adopting after today Neeru's definition of AI, which is amplified intention, okay? And I think when you think about it from that lens, it becomes really interesting to look at how AI can help amplify thinking, help sharpen your questions, right? Because you don't want to lose things like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. Those 5 C's that Neeru showed earlier this morning are the non-negotiables. But making sure that those are the pieces that you're encouraging your child to sort of use it as a tool when they get stuck versus outsourcing their thinking to it is I think, the first place for us to start.
Absolutely. So the critical thinking piece. Have you come across a situation in your experience as you're raising your boy where you felt that he maybe took the easy path, and how did you course correct?
So his exposure to AI has really been through the Blue Robins world and project because they aren't actively encouraging that at school, right? So he's not really looking at AI right now as a tool to help him with homework or anything else. I think the part that I feel like I want to keep re-encouraging him to do is to always start with the first drafts himself. Like he's a wonderful writer, has great imagination. He loves drawing, right? So to never lose touch of those pieces, but the ease of vibe coding something and being able to prompt, some of those dragon diorama backgrounds, because these were worlds that were rich in his imagination, and he was able to describe it and help build some of that. I think that piece is where it can get really easy to be like, hey, the output from there looks way better than what will take me hours to do and create myself. And I think helping him find that balance of where is the authenticity
of his work, you know, as an artist, as a creator, as a writer, and where you're leaning on the tool to help amplify something you create. That's a balance I feel like we're still navigating every day.
Lovely. Akansha, you have an older child, and likely one younger, but the older one who probably is more in the world where AI is an acceptable tool of choice. So I'd love to hear your perspective on the same course-correcting question, but as well as would love to hear about when AI and social media intersect, children are exposed to constant comparison and curated perfection. How is this shaping their sense of identity and self-worth, and what signals should parents be paying attention to and early? So one is about the education course correcting for the older child, if at all, and then, again, social media. And by social media, I don't necessarily only mean social media as what we understand it, and Instagram and TikTok, but also media that comes to us through YouTube and other short video and long video channels.
Yeah. Now, I have two kids. I have one 7-year-old who's sitting right there and one 12-year-old who's doing his demo. I think this question's very interesting, and as we were chatting about, right, this world between the three of us even, I realized how social media isn't just TikTok and isn't just, you know, the social media traditional challenge, but even content that we're absorbing on Google, content that we're absorbing on YouTube. I don't know what generation I'll call myself, but like we are used to Google being the fact check engine. There is a difference between fact and opinion now. There is a lot of opinion, and we cannot change that. Like, I think the conversation we have as parents is, look, we can't change the environment we're living in, but we can adapt and teach our kids, again, to Aisha's point, like, don't, like, trust but verify, right? We talked about this. Trust what you're seeing. You don't have to be the skeptics around it. You don't have to be somebody who doesn't want to engage in the technology that's around you. But how do you make sure that when something doesn't feel right, how do you start to trust your instinct? How do you double check that instinct is actually helping you challenge what you're hearing, because it may not be fact anymore, and it may be opinion. So I think that's one. The second thing I will say, it really, you know, you used the term comparison. Growing up, we're used to comparing ourselves to peers. That's okay. But now there's an interesting paradigm shift that's happening where our kids are comparing themselves to the AI-developed version of their peers. That may or may not be true, right? So a true comparison is often getting lost. So how do you teach them to, like, there's a lot we talked about failure today. There is beauty in failing and struggle that comes with learning, like, versus the easy path. Like, you're asking a question, you're getting an answer, and there is no beauty in failing in the way we failed by doing, and that was wrong, and then learning and, you know, iterating from there. So I think that's where it's very important. Aisha, like you said, it's a balance, right? And I strongly, strongly believe that we are not going to be able to stop our kids in the way they engage. The only thing we can keep reinforcing is, to your point, being more intentional about when they're saying, oh, I read this, oh, I heard this, are we asking the question, where did you hear this? Like, does that feel right to you? Like, how do you assess, like, have you double checked, have you verified? And I think that is the only critical skill, like, we can continue teaching.
Yeah, I think, Akanksha, like right now when answers are free or answers are cheap, right? Being able to teach discernment and judgment is so critical. And that means asking the question of everything you're seeing, what you're seeing on social media. I love your trust but verify, you know, and just getting, I think, teaching kids that it's okay and we should be questioning everything from a place of curiosity and exploration and not just taking it at face value.
Yeah, I agree. I think the conversation with our kids have changed. I think what was a simple, how was your day, has now become so much more. For many families, the dinner table is one of the few consistent touch points. What are some simple, effective ways that parents can use everyday conversations to demystify AI, build awareness, and create open dialogue without fear or judgment? And I'll give that to both of you.
I'll go first. One of the things actually our 7-year-old is introduced, so I thank him for doing that for our family, is every day we sit down for dinner and he will ask the question, how was your day? And we have to tell the good, the not so good, and what you're looking forward to. So kudos to him for bringing us together in that fashion. But one of the other things to answer the AI question, right? I think there's a lot of news. There's a lot of information. And our kids are going to hear that information one way or the other. So a part of the dinner table conversation is also creating an environment where we can healthily share what information we're hearing as adults and also debate that information as adults. Because when they are hearing us debating that information, they realize, right, that not everything you hear is true, that there is a difference between fact and opinion. So I do think that, to your point, like the dinner conversations are a great opportunity for us to talk about things that we don't want our kids to just assume, but rather know that those things that they can talk about as families. And then the second thing I will just say on that is, it goes back to when the kid tells you, hey, I heard this, or my friend told me this, you always ask the question, where did you hear that? How did you hear that? Even as something as simple as don't trust one LLM, like use as many tools as possible, right? Start trusting your intuition and start using the tools that are available to you to start questioning things, I think is the key for many of these conversations.
So I'm going to interrupt that for 1 second so I can frame the question for Aisha a little differently. I talked about fear and judgment. Often kids, being kids, and they should be kids, will react to something they heard in a way that doesn't bode well for themselves or you as a unit. And it comes back to you. How do you now respond to what they did or how they reacted without instilling fear and judgment because you know it really wasn't their fault that they were misguided, or in this day and age, no one has the toolkit to be able to judge these decisions on the fly? So how would you react in a situation like that, hypothetically or otherwise?
Yeah, I think first it's really helpful to help them deconstruct the situation the way it happened. Just go through it and don't judge, don't solve, right? Ask them what happened. And the important thing I love asking is, how do you feel? How did that make you feel? Because you're making sure that they're really getting in touch with how something felt in their body, right? And then getting comfortable with articulating what exactly happened and what is their take on it. I think, we're never, at least at the age that our children are, we're still teaching them things like values and teaching them, judgment, what's right and wrong, and how to continually discern it. So having those conversations, but always kind of giving them the ability to say, this felt right, this felt wrong, because their compass is being developed right now, right? Their moral compass, their way of, their view on the world. So I love asking them because many times they already know the answer and they know what's right and wrong. They just need the space to be able to articulate that and share it. Because peer pressure as well is really tough, right? If everyone in your friend group is doing something, it's hard to be the kid that says no, even if they know it's not the right thing. And so I just go back to kind of helping him feel like there's agency in choosing what he knows is to be right, even if it's not popular.
If I can maybe just add one thing, Rohini, right? Like, we can either be fearful of the fear or teach our kids that you are going to be fearful in situations. So resilience is such a strong, powerful word that if we can continue teaching our kids, not everything you're going to do is right with or without AI. Not everything you're going to hear right with or without AI. It does build that resilience. So strongly believe that overprotecting also doesn't help them build those skills to learn by failing themselves versus us coming in between and somewhat lowering the impact of the failure.
Yeah, I think it's a little like, not just teaching the kids how to use these tools, but how not to get used by these tools, right? And that's the difference that we need to keep reinforcing.
Yeah, I love resilience. I think that is going to be the almost the tool of choice for kids as they are raised, for parents as they are raising their kids, is to help kids build resilience around what's coming at them day in and day out and learn to make the right choices. But the best of the best, knowledge centers and knowledge networks, including Common Sense Media, will say, set some boundaries. And I think that's an impossible thing to do. And I'd love to hear from you in a space that is evolving so much faster than anything that we can keep up with. What are those practical guardrails that one can place around their kids that are enforceable just in your day-to-day? I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think the biggest one is the power of physical space and being in the physical space. So yes, whenever we think about boundary, right, the obvious question becomes, how do you control the screen time? How do you control what they're absorbing? But again, for us as a family, it's been very important that our kids are being outdoors in a way that's traditional. For any of the parent that's interested in outdoors, right, that Berkeley has amazing outdoor activities that your kids can participate in, where they can get their hands on dirty with wood carving, archery, and foraging. And I think the learning by tactile and feeling and breathing the ocean air is only going to come by breathing and feeling the ocean air and not necessarily sitting on the tool. So I think for us, it's also been important that we introduce that as a part of boundary. And the beauty of that is, right, you're not telling your kid this is a boundary. You're actually cultivating interest in things that are outside of kind of being on the screen time that feels almost like a privilege than a boundary setting. So I think that's one thing I will say, outside of obviously make sure that you're having the right conversations about what they can or cannot access, right, as they're engaging with social media.
Yeah, I think for us, the boundary has been around screen time and keeping that in a boxed, area. And again, what I love about what Akanksha said is the boundary of being out in nature and insisting that you have time outside, and being able to also have the boundary around what is just your work ethic, right? How do you approach your project, your boundary around your room, chores in the house? Like, those are all these things that I think do far better in helping teach children what's really valuable and build resilience and build guilt than just boundaries around screen time, right? Because yes, that exists, but I feel like the minute you have a child's entire world be immersed in front of a screen, even if it's for learning, that's where you start to lose your touch with, reality.
I agree. I think the need, we turned it off? Yeah. Yeah, I think the need to stay in touch with the real world and instill as much normalcy in the old school way is the best way to do it. I know we're out of time, but I'm going to just let both Aisha and Akansha end with one 30-second, spiel, for the lack of better words, around, to you today, after having spent this morning here and seen so many kids innovating and so many kids doing such incredible work, what does it mean for you, and how would you start doing things differently, if at all, to raise a more self-aware child than an AI-dependent one?
I think it's making sure we're immersed in rooms like this and having conversations like this with them, right? And making sure that they get exposure to, projects like Blue Robins, like the CK12 program, the Trackers program that Akanksha just talked about, and the sense of being really tied to community and the people that are there to support them on this journey.
Everything Aisha said, everything Aisha said. The only thing I would say is close with intention. I think amplified intention. But I also want to really acknowledge, right, like all of the parents here, all of the volunteers here are spending their Sunday being here because all of you want to think about what the right/wrong/balanced way of engaging your kids in this is. And I think part of that is let the kids lead us as much as we are the only ones leading. So I think there is a partnership with kids that's become even more important than it has been in the past.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to hear, and kudos to everyone who's put today together, Blue Robins and all of the other partner agencies. This is incredible. If there is one way to raise your kids in this world of the unknown, it's with this kind of community. Congratulations.
Awesome. Please give another warm round of applause to our speakers. Now, before I do let you guys go out onto lunch, I do want to give a huge, huge shout out to Tyre Saddam, Shilov, Rani Radhakrishnan, because not only are they food entrepreneurs, but lunch was also provided for them. Again, please give a big round of applause for our lunch providers. And with that being said, you can go ahead, get some food and explore. There's going to be students in different rooms, so please go ahead and check all of them out. Thank you.